Chapter 1495. You make the first move. Otherwise, you won't even have a chance to attack when I make my move. Emo Qingyun glanced at Cheng Ping indifferently. He didn't want to waste time with him, so he impatiently waved his hand at him. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Cheng Ping was so angry that his body trembled. His face was extremely pale. As a genius of the Black Abyss demonic tiger clan, he had never been looked down upon like this since he started cultivating. The Black Abyss demonic tiger clan's brat is too rash. The brat who snatched the key is not easy to deal with. It will be difficult for him to defeat him. That's right. The brat who snatched the key is flying at a speed comparable to a Constellation Realm expert. He's not that easy to deal with. It's good to let the Black Abyss demonic tiger clan's brat test the waters. This way, when we make our move, we can know the brat who snatched the key. If that's the case, I've become even more curious about this battle. At this moment, the people from the various clans sneered. Everyone was harboring evil intentions. Brat, anyone can talk big. I hope you really have the ability to do so. Under everyone's gaze, Cheng Ping snorted unhappily and began to attack Emo Qingyun. As soon as Cheng Ping finished speaking, he released the aura of a peak Constellation Realm expert and suppressed Emo Qingyun. However, Emo Qingyun was not affected by his aura at all. He was still as calm as ever. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, Cheng Ping's face turned even uglier. He shouted angrily, "You do have some ability. Even so, today I will let you know that arrogance comes with a price." Mystique, Black Abyss demonic tiger god. Cheng Ping shouted angrily. He used his natural mystique and pushed the power of his bloodline to the extreme. Soon, a huge black tiger shadow formed outside Cheng Ping's body. After the tiger shadow formed, it released a shocking aura and overlapped with Cheng Ping's body. Then, everyone saw Cheng Ping's figure pouncing towards Emo Qingyun like an ancient demonic tiger. Under Cheng Ping's attack, the space around his body immediately began to tremble, as if it could not withstand his attack. Cheng Ping is indeed a genius of our clan. Judging from his divine ability, his bloodline concentration should have reached 70%. That's right. With Cheng Ping's bloodline talent and the might of this divine ability, it's hard to find a match for him in the same realm. That brat will soon know that he is a frog at the bottom of a well and will regret his arrogant actions. Everyone from the Black Abyss Devil Tiger clan revealed gratified smiles when they saw Cheng Ping's attack. Clearly, they were very satisfied with Cheng Ping's performance. Before the Black Abyss demonic tiger clan could finish speaking, his expression froze. His eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, Cheng Ping was like a small bug that was caught by a huge blue hand. "Kneel!" Under everyone's shocked gazes, Emo Qingyun roared angrily and raised his hand to grab at the void in front of him. Then, everyone saw the giant blue palm grab Cheng Ping and smash him to the ground. Bang! A loud sound was heard and a huge deep hole appeared on the ground. At the bottom of the deep hole, there was a shabbily dressed young man who was struggling to crawl out of the deep hole. This person was Cheng Ping, who was caught by the giant blue palm. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked again and felt that their brains were not enough to process it. Cheng Ping, who was at the peak of the star accumulation realm, was defeated by a person at the immortal infant stage in one move after using his divine ability. This kind of situation was too out of their expectations. That brat's combat power is so strong. Is he really only at the immortal infant stage? A brat at the immortal infant stage has such terrifying strength. This is the first time I've seen such a thing. Judging from the current situation, that brat's origin is not simple. He might be from a powerful clan. This brat hasn't activated his bloodline power yet. If we can make him activate his bloodline power, we will be able to determine his origin. After witnessing Emo Qingyun's formidable strength, the apprehension of the people from the various clans towards him immediately became even stronger. In their opinion, The strength that Emo Chingyun displayed now was so strong that it was somewhat too abnormal. Logically speaking, Emo Chingyun must be from a powerful clan for him to possess such shocking strength. Therefore, before they were clear about Emo Chingyun's origin, it was better for them not to touch Emo Chingyun. Under everyone's fearful gaze, Emo Chingyun glanced at the crowd contemptuously and said in a deep voice, "Is there anyone else who wants to challenge me? If no one dares to come out, you will all submit to me obediently." Seeing that Emo Chingyun was as arrogant as usual, someone was immediately displeased and shouted angrily, "Brat, no matter how strong your talent is, you are only at the immortal infant stage. Today, I will teach you the principle of keeping a low profile on behalf of your clan's elders." From this person's words, everyone could tell that he was very wary of the power behind Emo Chingyun. Now that he had come out to fight Emo Chingyun, it was most likely not to teach Emo Chingyun a lesson, but to probe Emo Chingyun's origins. "I'm afraid you are not qualified to teach me a lesson on behalf of my clan's elders." Hearing this person's words, Emo Chingyun replied indifferently and said, "It's too slow for you to come one by one. Ask your clansmen to come together." Arrogant. Although this person's strength was not very strong, he was still at the small star realm. Now that he was being looked down upon by Emo Chingyun, he was immediately enraged. In his anger, this person did not say anything more to Emo Chingyun and immediately rushed towards Emo Chingyun. Superpower, Blood Eye Soul Destroyer. The person's body flashed and a huge blood-red ball of light immediately gathered in midair. When this blood-red ball of light was formed, it emitted a terrifying power that made people feel very stifled. Then, everyone saw the blood-red ball of light shoot towards Emo Chingyun in an overbearing manner. Faced with the bombardment of the ball of light, Emo Chingyun did not show the slightest bit of fear. Instead, he casually pointed at the person. Upper Devouring Spirit Finger. When Emo Chingyun's finger shot out, a terrifying spiritual power came out of his index finger and turned into a huge black vortex finger. When the black vortex finger was formed, it emitted a terrifying devouring power that swallowed the blood-red ball of light. As the upper devouring spirit finger swallowed the blood-red ball of light, the aura it emitted was constantly increasing. How could this be? What kind of superpower is this? When he saw that his natal superpower had been easily broken by Emo Chingyun, this person was so shocked that he kept screaming in fear. Bang! This person's face was full of panic. Just as his emotions became abnormally agitated, the upper devouring spirit finger hit him. After being hit by the upper devouring spirit finger, this person was immediately sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face was pale. It was another move. A small star realm expert had been crushed by someone at the immortal infant stage. Chapter 1496. I said, "You can't do it alone." After sending that person flying with a finger, Emo Chingyun showed an impatient expression. He looked around at the people from the various tribes and said, "In order not to waste time, all of you can come at me together." As soon as Emo Chingyun finished speaking, he summoned the constellation ghost and prepared to use the gate of fusion to fuse with it. Seeing Emo Chingyun summon the constellation ghost, the surrounding people were shocked. They all widened their eyes in disbelief. They guessed that Emo Chingyun's background was extraordinary, but they never thought that Emo Chingyun would have a constellation ghost by his side. Constellation ghost. Seeing the ghost appear by Emo Chingyun's side, Lu Shenxiong's old face kept twitching. His expression was filled with shock. At this moment, he finally understood why Lu Yanghu kept asking for Emo Chingyun's help. With a constellation ghost like this helping, it could indeed resolve the crisis of the Raging Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe. At the same time, he also understood why Emo Chingyun dared to fight for the key to the incense forest in the hands of the various tribes. With the protection of such a large star, it would not be easy for the various clans to deal with Emo Chingyun even if they wanted to. Before Lu Shenxiong could calm down, his expression became blank. He could not believe what he was seeing. Mo Qingyun and the ghastly being in the constellation were slowly fusing together, becoming one. What kind of remarkable power was this? At this moment, the people from the various tribes were feeling the same as Lu Shenxiong. They were filled with shock and confusion. They had never seen such a remarkable power before. Under the shocked gazes of the crowd, Mo Qingyun's aura became stronger and stronger. Soon, Mo Qingyun's aura reached the level of a constellation ghost. What kind of remarkable power is this? It can actually fuse with other living beings. Fusing with his living being and using the other living being's cultivation for his own use. How can there be such a terrifying, remarkable power? This is going to be troublesome. With the power that this kid just displayed, it will be difficult for us to take back the key. No matter what, the incense forest is a fat piece of meat. We can't give it to this kid so easily. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, the people from the various tribes revealed cold expressions. They were unwilling to let Mo Qingyun monopolize the incense forest. While the people from the various tribes were furious, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and pointed at his forehead. He summoned Wu Yu from the Constellation Palace and said, "Wu Yu, watch the people around me. Don't let them escape." "That's easy." Wu Yu came out of the Soul Palace and replied casually. Then, he started forming hand seals. Wu uses as formed seals as S8 Constellation Seal T. Following that, the wood's spiritual energy transformed into spiritual energy vines that sealed off the surrounding space within 100 miles. Seeing such a scene, the expressions of the people from the various clans changed again, and each of them revealed a terrified expression. There's another powerhouse from the constellation. His bloodline is even stronger than ours. Who is this kid? How can he have so many powerhouses from the constellation guarding him? That powerhouse from the constellation seems to be from the top 100 on the 10,000 Ancient Tribes board, the Witch Doctor tribe. A powerhouse from the top 100 on the 10,000 Ancient Tribes board is a follower of this kid. Who is this kid? After knowing the tribe that Wu Yu came from and the relationship between Wu Yu and Mo Qingyun, the people from the various tribes were terrified. Their faces turned pale. This time, they had met a troublesome opponent, Great Heavenly Demon Finger. While the people from the various tribes were terrified, Mo Qingyun pointed at them and released a terrifying wave of celestial spiritual energy. Then, the crowd saw the black celestial spiritual energy turn into a huge black finger that shot toward them with lightning speed. Seeing the Great Heavenly Demon Finger coming toward them, the crowd didn't dare to hesitate and immediately ran away. However, although they ran away quickly, the Great Heavenly Demon Finger's attack was even faster. Boom! Before the crowd could escape, the Great Heavenly Demon Finger exploded in the middle of them, releasing a terrifying spiritual energy storm. Under the impact of the spiritual energy storm, the crowd was immediately sent flying. Their faces were pale and they spat out blood. One finger, just one finger, and hundreds of people from the various tribes were severely injured. Even the powerhouses from the constellation were not spared. What kind of power was this? The crowd didn't know in their hearts. They were afraid that even a powerhouse from the half-step golden immortal stage could only be this powerful. So strong. How can he be so strong? Even if he borrowed external power, he shouldn't be able to control it. How can this be? An immortal infant stage cultivator's body shouldn't be able to contain this power. Could it be that the strength of this kid's body has reached the level of an immortal artifact? No. Impossible. How can there be such a monster in this world? After being hit by Mo Qingyun's domineering finger, the people from the various tribes were horrified. They were dumbfounded by the situation in front of them. Mo Qingyun's expression was cold as he looked at the terrified people of the various clans. He said in a low voice, "Now I'll give you all one last chance. Do you choose to submit to me, or do you choose to disappear from this world? After hearing Mo Qingyun's words again, the people from the various tribes fell silent. They didn't dare to mock Mo Qingyun like before. They had no choice. Now that they had seen Mo Qingyun's power, they knew that Mo Qingyun had the ability to do so. My patience is limited. Now I'll give you 10 breaths time to consider. Seeing that the people from the various tribes were silent, Mo Qingyun urged them and started the countdown. 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. When the 10 breaths time was up, Mo Qingyun looked at the people from the various tribes and said coldly, "Say it. Do you choose to submit to me, or do you choose to die?" After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, a middle-aged man from the Black Abyss demonic tiger tribe looked at the crowd with a gloomy expression and said, "Everyone, although this kid's methods are strange, I don't believe that he can use such a powerful superpower continuously. If we join forces against him, we might be able to capture and kill him. You're courting death." Seeing the middle-aged man's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He was just thinking about how to make an example out of this guy. This guy had jumped out of his own accord, which was exactly what he wanted. Then, the crowd saw a purple light shoot out from Mo Qingyun's right eye. The purple light shot out from Mo Qingyun's right eye and turned into a sword light that smashed into the man's head. Poochie. Following that, everyone saw that person's head was blasted apart by a ray of saber light from his eyes. Not only that, when the man's head exploded, even his soul didn't have time to escape. Seeing this scene, the crowd's faces trembled and they all gasped. An early-stage constellation martialist had actually been overbearingly obliterated by Mo Qingyun's gaze. Chapter 1497. I'll submit. Please don't kill me. I'll submit too. As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything. Even an expert of the constellation realm was killed by Mo Qingyun with a single glance. Naturally, the people of the various tribes did not dare to resist. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile and planted a soul imprint in their sea of consciousness. Not long after, all the people of the various tribes were implanted with a soul imprint and became Mo Qingyun's slaves. After subduing the people of the various tribes, Mo Qingyun flew towards Lu Shenxiong and the rest. He asked them about the location of the burning incense forest. Seeing Mo Qingyun fly towards Lu Shenxiong and the rest, the people of the various tribes did not hesitate and immediately followed behind Mo Qingyun. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Lu Shenxiong and the rest. He asked Lu Shenxiong, "Tribe leader Lu, now that all 20 keys to the burning incense forest are in my hands, can you tell me the location of the burning incense forest?" At this moment, the people of the various tribes followed and instantly surrounded Mo Qingyun and the rest. Seeing such a scene, Lu Shenxiong was so frightened that his body trembled. He said in a panic, "Mo? Little friend Mo, no matter what, you are Yang Hu's friend. You don't have to harm us like this, right?" From Lu Shenxiong's point of view, Mo Qingyun was clearly harming the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe by bringing the people of the various tribes here. "Harming you?" Mo Qingyun revealed a puzzled expression. He did not understand what Lu Shenxiong meant. He asked, "Tribe leader Lu, why do you say that? Why don't I understand?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Lu Shenxiong revealed a bitter smile. He thought that Mo Qingyun was purposely pretending to be confused. He said, "Little friend Mo, you stole the keys of the various tribes and are now being chased by them. Yet, you brought them to us. Aren't you harming us?" "Haha, so that's what you were talking about." Understanding Lu Shenxiong's meaning, Mo Qingyun could not help but laugh out loud. "Clan leader Lu, you've misunderstood. Right now, the people of the various clans are all my servants. They aren't hunting me down like you said." "Servant?" Lu Shenxiong and the others were dumbfounded. They felt like they couldn't think properly. How was it that, in the blink of an eye, the powerful existences of the various races had become Mo Qingyun's slaves. Was there anything more ridiculous than this? Master is right, we are all his servants now. As Lu Shenxiong revealed a look of shock, the people of the various races revealed expressions of reverence and explained their relationship with Mo Qingyun. The various races had truly submitted. Hearing the explanations of the various clans, Lu Shenxiong and the others were stunned. They no longer doubted Mo Qingyun's words. Then, the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed greatly. Clan leader Lu, can you tell me where the burning incense forest is now? In order to resolve the doubts in Lu Shenxiong's heart, Mo Qingyun wasted no time and asked him again. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question again, Lu Shenxiong revealed a look of panic and hurriedly nodded at Mo Qingyun. However, although Lu Shenxiong responded in this way, he still did not say it out loud. Originally, the burning incense forest belonged to the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe. In the blink of an eye, it was going to become Mo Qingyun's. This huge psychological difference made Lu Shenxiong very uncomfortable. He did not want to tell Mo Qingyun. Humph. Master is asking you a question, why aren't you answering? Seeing Lu Shenxiong dawdling for a long time and not answering Mo Qingyun's question, a Black Abyss demonic tiger tribe member in the constellation position immediately shouted angrily at Lu Shenxiong. Hearing this Black Abyss demonic tiger tribe member's scolding, Lu Shenxiong did not dare to hesitate in the slightest. He revealed a terrified expression and hurriedly said, "Little friend Mo, please follow me. I'll bring you to the burning incense forest now." Being frightened by this Black Abyss demonic tiger tribe member, Lu Shenxiong immediately understood the difference in status between him and Mo Qingyun. The current Mo Qingyun was no longer the Mo Qingyun who came to the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe with Lu Yanghu previously. Moreover, if not for Mo Qingyun's intervention, not only would they not be able to keep the burning incense forest, but even the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe would not be able to keep it. Now that Mo Qingyun had intervened, at least they did not have to worry about the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe being destroyed. After thinking about it this way, the jealousy and dissatisfaction in Lu Shenxiong's heart was immediately relieved. To the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe, this outcome was already considered a blessing in disguise. They should be satisfied with this. Thank you for your trouble, clan leader Lu. Seeing that Lu Shenxiong was willing to lead the way, Mo Qingyun replied courteously. Then, he said, clan leader Lu, you might be a little unhappy that I monopolized your burning incense forest, but you should know that this is not something you can possess. You should understand the principle of treasuring a jade ring becomes a crime. Hearing Mo Qingyun say this, Lu Shenxiong's body shook as he finally recognized the reality. Mo Qingyun was right. Given the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe's strength, obtaining a treasure like the burning incense forest was not a good thing. An ordinary man was innocent, but treasuring a jade ring was a crime. How many people had suffered a calamity because they had obtained something they should not have? Thank you for your enlightenment, little friend Mo. This old man understands. Realizing the crux of the matter, Lu Shenxiong could not help but break out in cold sweat as a lingering fear arose. The burning incense forest was simply a hot potato to the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe. As long as the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe did not get rid of it, the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe would not be able to have a day of peace. Even if Mo Qingyun returned the key to them, they would not be able to enjoy the incense power they obtained from the forest in peace. Such a thing was not something they should possess. Seeing that Lu Shenxiong understood his meaning, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before saying, "Clan leader Lu, I took your burning incense forest as compensation. After which, I will order Tong Yuan and the rest to guard the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe." They will guard the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe? Lu Shenxiong looked at the people from the various tribes and instantly felt dizzy. He did not dare to believe what he had just heard. Right now, what the Barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe lacked the most was a strong tribe as a backer to prevent them from being bullied by other tribes. Mo Qingyun wanted the various tribes to guard the Barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe. To the Barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe, this was simply a great thing. Many thanks, little friend Mo. Lu Shenxiong was very clear in his heart that compared to the incense power in the burning incense forest, the various tribes' protection was more practical. They obtained the incense power. Wasn't it increasing the Barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe's strength? However, incense power could only create minor star position experts. To create major star position and constellation experts, it was still far from enough. Now, because of one sentence from Mo Qingyun, the Barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe had constellation experts to protect. This was simply a meat pie falling from the sky. Chapter 1498. Thank you for your guidance, little friend Mo. I know what to do now. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lu Shenxiong's expression immediately turned serious, and he put away the relaxed feeling in his heart. Mo Qingyun was right. Relying on external forces was a small path. Only by becoming strong oneself was the way to go. Next, Mo Qingyun and Lu Shenxiong chatted as they walked. Unknowingly, they arrived at the incense forest. The incense forest was very vast. At a glance, it was impossible to see the end of it. This incense forest seems to be an independent continent. Looking at the incense forest in front of him, Mo Qingyun revealed a shocked expression. He was surprised that the incense forest was not ordinary. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun revealed a shocked expression and observed the incense forest more carefully. Mr. Mo, this is the incense forest. The entrance is over there. While Mo Qingyun was looking at the incense forest, Lu Shenxiong explained to him, and led him to the entrance. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the entrance of the incense forest under Lu Shenxiong's lead. At the entrance of the incense forest, there was a 20-pointed formation that flashed with a dazzling light. 20-star celestial astral immortal lock formation. Seeing the formation in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He immediately recognized the origin of this formation. Mo Qingyun had some simple understanding of the 20-star celestial immortal lock formation from the legacy of formations. Of course, it was just some simple understanding. It was impossible for Mo Qingyun to break the formation. After knowing the location of the incense forest, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste any time. He prepared to enter the incense forest immediately. Next, I will enter the incense forest and collect the incense power inside. After explaining his plan, Mo Qingyun looked at the people of the various tribes and ordered, "When I enter the incense forest, you must protect the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe with all your heart. If you don't do your best, don't blame me for being ruthless. We will definitely do our best to protect the Barbarian Ox Thunder Tiger tribe." Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, the people of the various clans didn't dare to hesitate and immediately promised Mo Qingyun. Lu Shenxiong's face lit up with joy when he saw the assurances from the various clans. He became excited. Although he knew that in order to strengthen the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe, he had to strengthen his own tribe. But for now, with the protection of the various clans, they would have the opportunity and time to grow. After Mo Qingyun gave his instructions to everyone, he didn't waste any more time and immediately took out 20 keys. The 20 keys were taken out by Mo Qingyun. They emitted rays of light and flew into the 20 stars Heavenly Dipper Immortal Sealing Formation. As the 20 keys flew into the formation, the 20-star Celestial Astral Immortal Sealing Formation shone brightly and emitted a terrifying aura. Following this, a shocking suction force burst out from the 20-star Celestial Force Immortal Sealing Formation and sucked Mo Qingyun into the incense forest. Seeing Mo Qingyun enter the incense forest, Lu Shenxiong and the other clans returned to the barbarian Ox Thunder Tiger City. When Mo Qingyun entered the Joss Flame Forest, he sensed that the air was suffused with a strange energy. This energy was none other than the power of incense. Such rich incense! Sensing the rich incense, Mo Qingyun's face lit up. The amount of incense in the incense forest was much more than he had expected. Fortune Mainland appear. After calming down the shock in his heart, Mo Qingyun summoned the Fortune Mainland to absorb the incense in the incense forest. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when the Fortune Mainland was absorbing the incense, it was blocked by a mysterious force. What's going on? Could it be that the incense has an owner? Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed. He was very surprised by this situation. After pondering for a moment, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began searching for the reason behind this situation. Collect. While Mo Qingyun was surprised, he was still controlling the Fortune Mainland to absorb the incense in the incense forest. As Mo Qingyun continued to collect the incense, the previous obstructing force appeared once again. When this obstructing force appeared, Mo Qingyun released his soul force to sense the source of the obstructing force. That direction. After sensing for a while, Mo Qingyun found the source of the obstructing force and rushed in that direction. As Mo Qingyun continued to move forward, the force obstructing him became stronger and stronger. At the same time, the incense in the air became denser. It seems like I'm heading in the right direction. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn, confirming his guess. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun quickened his pace by a few notches. Roughly 2 days later, Mo Qingyun rushed at full speed and arrived in front of an altar where he saw several giant statues. The power that hindered the collection of incense came from these statues. Statues! Looking at these statues in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, suspicion rose in his heart. These statues were actually obstructing him from collecting incense. This was too strange. Swoosh! While Mo Qingyun was puzzled, a sharp golden light shot out from one of the statue's eyes. Sensing the appearance of this golden light, Mo Qingyun was startled and immediately dodged to the side. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh! Just as the golden light flashed across Mo Qingyun's eyes, streaks of lightning appeared, shooting out from the other statue's palms. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate, dodging these streaks of lightning bolts. These statues are strange. Mo Qingyun quickly dodged the lightning bolt. The shock in his heart intensified, and he became even more fearful of these statues. He could sense that these statues' attacks were comparable to a greater Star Realm Master's full-force attack. In this way, the strength of these statues was definitely not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Mo Qingyun had a feeling that the strength of the true body behind these statues might have reached a terrifying level. No matter who you are, it's impossible to make me back down. Being attacked by the statues consecutively, Mo Qingyun's heart was filled with anger and a strong sense of displeasure. It wasn't in Mo Qingyun's character to not react at all after being attacked by others. Traceless demon shadow. Rushing thunder wind path. Mo Qingyun pushed his speed to the extreme, dodging the attacks of these statues and approaching them bit by bit. Then, Mo Qingyun dodged left and right, arriving in front of a goathorn statue. Explode! Arriving in front of the goathorn statue, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and stabbed his halberd at it. Boom boom boom! Facing Mo Qingyun's halberd, the goathorn statue immediately began to move, dodging Mo Qingyun's halberd. Chapter 1499. Bang! Under Mo Qingyun's halberd attack, one of the goathorn statue's horns was immediately shattered, producing an astonishing recoil force. Under the impact of this recoil force, Mo Qingyun was forced to retreat again and again, a shocked expression appearing on his face. He thought to himself, this goathorn statue is so powerful. Just a trace of its recoil force is comparable to a major Star Realm powerhouse's all-out attack. What are the origins of these statues? Before Mo Qingyun could recover from his shock, a statue with a bull horn charged at him. When the bull horn statue charged at Mo Qingyun, its nostrils spewed out a terrifying flame. Wherever the flame passed, the surrounding space was immediately melted, creating a hole with a diameter of several meters. In this spatial fissure, one could see a stream of spatial turbulence, emitting a destructive force. What a terrifying flame power! Mo Qingyun's expression changed when he saw the attack of the bullhorn statue. He quickly retreated and thought to himself, the flames from the bullhorn statue contain a powerful force of the fire Tao. The origins of this bullhorn statue are probably even more frightening. Boom! While Mo Qingyun was shocked by the bullhorn statue's strength, a statue wielding a long spear flashed and stabbed at him. When this spear-wielding statue stabbed at Mo Qingyun, several afterimages appeared behind it. Facing the repeated attacks of these statues, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to hold back and immediately summoned the ghost. Fusion Gate. When Mo Qingyun summoned the ghost, he used the fusion gate and fused with the ghost to increase his strength. After fusing with the ghost, Mo Qingyun's aura immediately rose to the level of a constellation. This aura seems to be. Could it be that thing? Did this kid really get that thing? Whether it is or not, we can't let this kid escape. When Mo Qingyun used the fusion gate, the statues paused and silently communicated with each other. Immediately after, the power of these statues' attacks on Mo Qingyun became much fiercer. Humph! Since you want to kill me, then bear my wrath. Facing the repeated attacks of these statues, Mo Qingyun let out an angry roar and swung his scarlet meteorite battle halberd at them. Mo Qingyun's current cultivation had already reached the constellation realm, and the power of his attacks had also been multiplied. Mo Qingyun's first target was the statue with the goat horns on its head. Compared to the other statues, this goat horn statue was slightly weaker. Boom! Facing Mo Qingyun's brutal attack, the goat-horn statue was unable to dodge in time and was once again struck by Mo Qingyun's halberd. Under the attack of Mo Qingyun's halberd, half of the goat-horn statue's body was reduced to dust. Slash! After shattering half of the goat-horn statue's body, Mo Qingyun's attack power didn't decrease at all. He turned the scarlet meteorite battle halberd in his hand forward. Under the rotation of the immortal burning battle halberd, spiderweb-like cracks immediately appeared on the remaining parts of the goat horn statue. Bang bang bang, under Mo Qingyun's violent attacks, the remaining parts of the goat horn statue were quickly torn to pieces. When the goat horn statue was torn to pieces, a golden figure with goat horns flew out from the statue. When the golden figure flew out from the statue, he revealed a ferocious expression as he glared at Mo Qingyun and roared, "Kid, you dare to destroy my golden body? I won't let you off." As soon as the golden figure finished speaking, he fled into the distance, not daring to stay any longer. "Humph! I won't let you off either." Seeing that the golden figure was preparing to escape, Mo Qingyun coldly replied and chased after him. Following which, Mo Qingyun dodged a few times and caught up to the golden figure. When Mo Qingyun caught up to the golden figure, he no longer hesitated and stabbed his halberd at him. Poochie! Facing Mo Qingyun's swift and fierce halberd, the golden figure had no time to dodge and was pierced by Mo Qingyun's halberd. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's attack, the golden figure gradually dissipated and returned to the pure power of incense. "No, my spirit of worship." After being hit by Mo Qingyun's halberd, the golden figure let out a roar, his expression filled with unwillingness. He had cultivated for tens of thousands of years to condense a spirit of worship, but now it had been destroyed by Mo Qingyun. This was a great loss to him. Seeing the goat-horned statue killed, the other statues visibly trembled and were unwilling to attack Mo Qingyun rashly. They could see that if they attacked again, they would very likely end up like the goat-horned statue. Now, their original bodies were serving in the immortal prison and needed to be rescued by the spirit of worship. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary, they would not risk the spirit of worship. If the spirit of worship was destroyed, all their efforts would be wasted. This wasn't something they wanted to see. It's not worth risking the destruction of the spirit of worship just for some incense. This kid is too strange. With the strength of our spirit of worship, we can't kill him here. I've already left the brand of worship on this kid's body. He can't escape my senses. That's right. Once our original bodies escape, it won't be too late to slowly deal with this kid. Thinking of this, the remaining statues no longer hesitated and immediately fled towards the incense forest. Seeing the fleeing statues, Mo Qingyun didn't let them leave. He immediately chased after one of them. However, these statues were much more familiar with the incense forest than Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't chase for long before losing sight of the statues. He had to give up. Since I've lost them, I'll just collect incense. Mo Qingyun didn't take it too hard. Seeing that he couldn't chase after the statues, he started collecting incense. Soon, the portion of incense that belonged to the goat-horned statue was absorbed into the fortune mainland by Mo Qingyun. As for the other statues' incense, Mo Qingyun still couldn't collect them. He was still blocked by a mysterious force. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun frowned as he came to a realization. He muttered to himself, "It seems that if I want to collect the incense here, I have to kill those strange statues. Humph! Unless you give up on the incense, I can still find you." Thinking of the method he used to find the statues, Mo Qingyun planned to use the same trick again. Through sensing the incense, he could find the statue's hiding place. In the southwest direction. After sensing for a while, Mo Qingyun found the statue's location and immediately flew in that direction. About 2 hours later, Mo Qingyun flew at top speed and found the bullhorn statue. "Yua, how did you find me?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun had found him, the goat-horned statue trembled and uttered a terrified sentence. He believed that he had hidden himself well enough. Mo Qingyun shouldn't have been able to find him. Chapter 1500. You'll know when you're dead. Mo Qingyun replied coldly to the bull-horned statue's question. He waved the scarlet meteorite battle halberd and slashed at the statue. Golden snake flashing halberd. Mo Qingyun stabbed out with the halberd and his figure disappeared from the bull-horned statue's perception. Seeing Mo Qingyun suddenly disappear, the bull-horned statue panicked and exclaimed, "Kid, don't hide. Come out and fight me head-on." The bull-horned statue roared angrily. It opened its mouth and spat out terrifying flames. Under the burning of the flames, the surrounding space collapsed one after another. Spatial cracks appeared and spatial turbulence spread out. However, no matter how the bull-horned statue attacked, it was unable to force Mo Qingyun out. Just as the bull-horned statue was going berserk, an imposing halberd blade slammed into its body. Boom! The scarlet meteorite battle halberd struck the bull-horned statue. A powerful spiritual energy exploded from the halberd and shattered the bull-horned statue. In a short while, spiderweb-like cracks appeared on the bull-horned statue's body. Explode! After striking the bull-horned statue with the halberd, Mo Qingyun did not stop. He stabbed the scarlet meteorite battle halberd again and exploded with an even more powerful force. Bang! After being hit by the immortal immolating battle halberd again, the bull-horned statue directly exploded and turned into a cloud of dust that scattered in the air. When the bull-horned statue was shattered, a golden bull shadow flew out from the statue. Little brother, let's talk things over." The golden bull shadow flew out and smiled at Mo Qingyun. It begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. "I know you're here for incense. As long as you promise not to kill me, you can take as many incense as you want. How about that?" "I can take as many incense as I want? I'm afraid you don't have that ability." After killing the goat-horned statue, Mo Qingyun already knew that there were many incense sticks in the incense forest. In order to obtain the corresponding incense sticks, one had to kill the corresponding statue to collect the incense sticks without any hindrance. Therefore, even if the bull-horned statue wanted to offer incense to Mo Qingyun, it could only offer him a portion. This was not enough to satisfy Mo Qingyun. If I kill you, I can still take as many incense sticks as I want. Mo Qingyun rejected the bull-horned statue's suggestion without hesitation. He didn't plan on letting the bull-horned statue go. From Mo Qingyun's point of view, the main body behind these statues must be a powerful existence. It was hard to say whether or not it had some other tricks up its sleeve. Therefore, it was too dangerous to keep these statues. It was safer to kill them. Just as Mo Qingyun had thought, the original owner of these statues did want to use these statues to leave a mark on him. In the future, once they escaped from the immortal prison, he would be able to easily locate Mo Qingyun through the connection between the statue and Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun destroyed the statue, it would be difficult for them to find Mo Qingyun even if their original bodies escaped from prison. Sky Soul Sealing Fist. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he threw a punch at the golden bull shadow without hesitation. Then, a huge black fist shadow came down from the sky above the golden bull shadow. Boom! When the black fist shadow hit the golden bull shadow, it made a huge sound and exploded with a shocking sealing power. Soon after, the golden ox lost its ability to move due to the confinement of the seal. Sky Soul Sealing Fist. You are from the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan? Seeing Mo Qingyun's punch, the golden bull shadow was shocked. It immediately knew where Mo Qingyun came from. From the golden bull shadow's reaction, it seemed that he was quite afraid of the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. Mo Qingyun didn't answer the bull-horned statue's question. He waved the scarlet meteorite battle halberd at it without hesitation. Since the golden ox shadow had lost its ability to move, it had no way of dodging Mo Qingyun's halberd. Poochie! Then, under the attack of the scarlet meteorite battle halberd, the golden bull shadow was directly dispersed. After the golden bull shadow was dispersed by Mo Qingyun, it turned into pure Joss flame and returned to the Joss flame forest. As the golden bull shadow was dispersed, Mo Qingyun could collect the Joss flame that corresponded to the bull-horned statue without any obstruction. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time and began to collect the Joss flame. In the following time, Mo Qingyun continuously killed the statues and collected the Joss flame in the Joss flame forest. Around 5 days later, all the strange statues in the Joss flame forest had been slaughtered by Mo Qingyun. As the strange statues were all slaughtered, the Joss flame in the Joss flame forest was all collected by Mo Qingyun. Since I've collected all the Joss flame, it's time to leave the Joss flame forest. Looking at the Joss flame forest that had become an ordinary forest, Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer. He hurried towards the exit of the Joss flame forest. In the barbarian bull thunder tiger city, when the various tribes saw that the people they sent out failed to snatch the key to the Joss flame forest, they sent out another group of people. Currently, the sky above the barbarian bull thunder tiger city was enveloped in a terrifying aura that made the hearts of the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe tremble. However, compared to the ordinary barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe members, Lu Shenxiong and the others were much calmer. Now that they had the protection of Tong Yuan and the others, even if the various tribes sent more people, they didn't need to be afraid. Come, let's go meet them. Looking at the people sent by the various tribes, Lu Shenxiong revealed an indifferent expression and instructed Tong Yuan and the others beside him. Hearing Lu Shenxiong's instructions, although Tong Yuan and the others were displeased, due to Mo Qingyun's existence, they still obeyed Lu Shenxiong. Before long, Lu Shenxiong and the others arrived in the air and faced off with the people of the various tribes. Seeing Tong Yuan and the others helplessly standing behind Lu Shenxiong respectfully, one of the people from the various tribes asked in confusion, Tong Yuan, what's wrong? We received the master's orders to protect the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe wholeheartedly. Hearing that person's question, Tong Yuan revealed a bitter expression and simply explained to the person before saying, Tong Shan, the master's strength is great. Take advantage of the fact that the master hasn't returned yet. Quickly go to the barbarian bull thunder tiger city. Tong Yuan's current persuasion was clearly for the good of the various tribes. He didn't want anyone to be controlled by Mo Qingyun again. Unfortunately, when Tong Shan heard his words, not only did he not accept his good intentions, he even mocked him. Tong Yuan, we're not trash like you. To actually submit to the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe, you're simply embarrassing us. After insulting Tong Yuan for a while, Tong Shan didn't stop talking and said, Tong Yuan, I'll give you a chance to admit your mistake. Immediately take down the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe members and force them to hand over the key to the Joss Flame Forest. Tong Shan, listen to me, the master's strength is really great. Seeing that Tong Shan didn't believe him, Tong Yuan immediately became anxious and tried to persuade Tong Shan again. Chapter 1501. Whoosh! A ray of light streaked across the sky and flew towards the barbarian bull lightning tiger city. After a while, the ray of light stopped above the city and turned into the figure of a young man. Seeing the young man standing above the city, Lu Shenxiong and the others were pleasantly surprised and quickly flew towards the young man. Master! Brother Mo! Little friend Mo! Lu Shenxiong and the others came to the young man and greeted him excitedly. That's right, the figure above the barbarian bull lightning tiger city was Mo Qingyun. What's going on? Who are they? Glancing at Tong Shan and the others, Mo Qingyun asked Lu Shenxiong and the others with a puzzled expression. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Tong Yuan's expression changed. He pointed at Tong Shan and the others and introduced them. Master, these people are from the Black Abyss Devil Tiger tribe. The others are from other tribes. Oh, so that's how it is. After learning about Tong Shan and the others' origins from Tong Yuan, Mo Qingyun knew why they were here. If he wasn't wrong, Tong Shan and the others should be here for the key to the incense forest. Kid, you're the master Tong Yuan mentioned? While Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, Tong Shan showed an arrogant expression. He glanced at Mo Qingyun with disdain and said, I thought you were strong, but you're only in the immortal infant stage. It seems like Tong Yuan is becoming more and more useless. He actually recognized an immortal infant stage kid as his master. Tong Shan, watch your words. Master's strength is not something you can imagine. Seeing Tong Shan's disrespect towards Mo Qingyun, Tong Yuan immediately shouted at him and made a posture that he was about to fight Tong Shan. Tong Yuan's angry actions didn't make Tong Shan restrain himself. Instead, it aroused Tong Shan's arrogance and made him disrespect Mo Qingyun even more. Tong Shan said proudly, Kid, I don't know what method you used to make Tong Yuan willingly submit to you, but if you want to use the same method to deal with me, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I don't think so. Mo Qingyun shook his head and refuted Tong Shan's point of view. He smiled faintly and said, In my opinion, when anyone faces death, they will instinctively want to live. Tong Yuan and the others are like that, and you will also be like that. Mo Qingyun replied to Tong Shan. He turned to look at Lu Shenxiong and said, Patriarch Lu, your luck is not bad. Very soon, the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe will have a new protector. A new guard? Lu Shenxiong and the others were stunned, not understanding what Mo Qingyun meant. However, after being stunned for a moment, Lu Shenxiong revealed a pleasantly surprised smile, and his expression became excited. Mo Qingyun was hinting to him that when Mo Qingyun captured Tong Shan and the others, he would make them the guards of the barbarian bull and thunder tiger tribe. If Tong Shan and the others became the guards of the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe, the strength of the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe would be second only to a tribe with a golden celestial stage powerhouse. Come out! Mo Qingyun hinted to Lu Shenxiong, and he no longer hesitated, immediately summoning the Constellation Realm Ghost. Gate of Fusion. After Mo Qingyun summoned the Constellation Realm Ghost, Lu Shenxiong used the Gate of Fusion to fuse with the Constellation Realm Ghost to increase his combat strength. Following that, Mo Qingyun's aura began to rise rapidly. In a short while, Mo Qingyun's aura rose from the immortal infant stage to the Constellation Realm Ghost. Constellation Realm? Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Tong Shan's expression was shocked. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to have such a method. He said in surprise, "This kid actually mastered such a heaven-defying divine ability. No wonder he could subdue Tong Yuan and the others." At this moment, Tong Shan finally understood why Tong Yuan and the others would submit to Mo Qingyun with their Constellation Realm cultivation. After knowing that Mo Qingyun was not simple, Tong Shan immediately put away the contempt he had for Mo Qingyun. Demonic Traceless Shadow. Lightning Wind Path. After raising his cultivation, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and charged towards Tong Shan. Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Tong Shan in a few flashes and slashed his scarlet meteorite battle halberd at Tong Shan. Roar! Mo Qingyun struck out with his halberd. Flames burst out from the scarlet meteorite battle halberd and condensed into a fire dragon halberd light. Once the fire dragon halberd light was formed, it emitted a terrifying aura and instantly engulfed Tong Shan. Humph! Child's play. Looking at the approaching fire dragon halberd light, Tong Shan revealed a disdainful smile and felt contempt for Mo Qingyun. He originally thought that since Mo Qingyun was able to subdue Tong Yuan and the others, he should have a very strong combat strength. He did not expect Mo Qingyun's attack to be so weak. It was no different from an ordinary Constellation Realm expert. This level of attack was not enough to threaten him. Divine ability, Sky-Ripping Tiger Claw. Tong Shan shouted angrily. The bloodline in his body was stimulated and mixed with the spiritual energy in his body. A black spiritual energy shot out from Tong Shan's fist and condensed into a black tiger above him. Roar! The black tiger roared and waved its claws in a frenzy, trying to tear the fire dragon halberd light apart. Poochie! Faced with the black tiger's crazy tearing, the fire dragon halberd light was immediately torn apart and turned into pure fire spiritual energy, dissipating into the air. Tong Shan's disdain for Mo Qingyun became even more intense after he succeeded in one strike. "Kid, if this is all you have, then you and the barbarian bull lightning tiger tribe will disappear today," Tong Shan shouted coldly. His body flashed, and he took the initiative to charge towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing Tong Shan take the initiative to charge towards him, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up and he replied, "That was just a warm-up. It's too early for you to be proud." Sealed door. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he used the sealed door and pointed at Tong Shan. A mini version of the light door flew out from Mo Qingyun's index finger and blasted into Tong Shan's body in an instant. After being hit by the sealed door, Tong Shan's bloodline and soul were immediately suppressed by a domineering force. With his bloodline power suppressed, Tong Shan's blood and qi flow immediately became disrupted, causing his bloodline to flow in reverse. Puff! The reversal of his bloodline caused Tong Shan's blood flow to become turbulent and he spat out blood. At the same time, the aura that Tong Shan emitted started to weaken rapidly. Not long after, Tong Shan's cultivation fell from the middle constellation realm to the peak constellation realm. My cultivation. Realizing that his cultivation was weakening, Tong Shan was shocked. He looked at Mo Qingyun with fear in his eyes. Mo Qingyun's methods were too strange. It was a divine ability that could increase one's cultivation and suppress it at the same time. Is this still a child's play? After sealing Tong Shan's cultivation, Emo Qingyun revealed a playful smile and asked Tong Shan. Then, Emo Qingyun charged towards Tong Shan again. He didn't want to waste too much time with him. Chapter 1502. Hearing Tong Shan's cry for help, the constellation experts of the various tribes immediately rushed towards him. Seeing their actions, Emo Qingyun curled his lips and said with a disdainful smile, "If that's the case, let's end the battle quickly." Mad demon change. Emo Qingyun roared angrily as a terrifying demonic aura erupted from his body. His body began to grow rapidly. In the blink of an eye, Emo Qingyun's body grew several times larger. He looked like a mad demon god of war. Then, Emo Qingyun's aura rose again until it reached the late stage of the constellation realm. At the same time, a terrifying battle intent erupted from Emo Qingyun's body. What a terrifying demonic aura! How many powerful abilities does this kid have? How can a kid in the immortal infant stage gather such a strong battle intent? Under the suppression of his battle intent, I can't even muster up the will to resist. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, Tong Shan and the others were immediately shocked, revealing a strong sense of fear. Bloodline suppression. While Tong Shan and the others were terrified, a terrifying blood-red wave suddenly erupted from Emo Qingyun's body. When this wave of bloodline aura erupted, Tong Shan and the others' blood circulation was greatly suppressed. This was the natural suppression of a powerful bloodline against a weak bloodline. Sensing Emo Qingyun's bloodline suppression, Tong Shan and the others trembled again. They were even more afraid of Emo Qingyun now. What a terrifying bloodline suppression. This kid's bloodline is too terrifying. The bloodline suppression of the top 100 tribes in the Wildlands player ranking probably isn't as strong as this. Could this kid's background be from one of the top 100 tribes in the Wildlands player ranking? As they speculated about Emo Qingyun's background, Tong Shan and the others' fear of Emo Qingyun continued to increase. Now that Emo Qingyun was really from one of the top 100 tribes in the Wildlands player ranking, they definitely couldn't afford to offend him. In that kind of terrifying and powerful race, any powerhouse sent out could sweep across the entire Heavenly Support mountain range. Great Heavenly Devil Finger. While Tong Shan and the others were still trembling in fear, Emo Qingyun pointed his finger at them and unleashed a destructive immortal spiritual energy. This immortal spiritual energy shot out from Emo Qingyun's finger and transformed into a giant thumb, charging towards Tong Shan and the others. Clang clang clang. In the process of the great heavenly demon finger's attack, the surrounding space instantly disintegrated, giving off the sound of glass shattering. Tong Shan's eyes widened when he saw the terrifying might of the great heavenly demon finger. He even forgot to block it. Bang bang bang. In the next second, Tong Shan and the others were engulfed by the great heavenly devil finger and were sent flying. Puff! After being hit by the great heavenly demon finger, Tong Shan and the others spat out blood, and their auras became weak. At this moment, the only reason Tong Shan and the others were still alive was because Emo Qingyun had held back. Otherwise, Tong Shan and the others would have been instantly killed by Emo Qingyun's finger. However, although Tong Shan and the others were not killed, they had lost the ability to continue fighting. Seeing how Emo Qingyun's finger made Tong Shan and the others, who were at the constellation realm, lose the ability to fight, the others were all dumbfounded. The remaining people of the various clans were dumbfounded. They were completely convinced of Emo Qingyun's strength. Now I'll give you a choice. Either you submit to me or you die. Looking at Tong Shan and the others who had lost the ability to fight, Emo Qingyun gave them a choice and said, "My patience is limited. You have 3 breaths of time to give me an answer." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Tong Shan and the others were stunned. They quickly weighed the pros and cons in their mind. At this moment, they finally understood why Tong Yuan and the others would submit to Emo Qingyun with their powerful strength. Although the young man in front of them was only at the immortal infant stage, His combat strength was too terrifying. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it even if they were beaten to death. A person at the immortal infant stage could explode with the combat strength of a half-step to the golden celestial stage. 3 breaths of time passed in the blink of an eye. I submit to you. I submit to you too. After weighing the pros and cons, Tong Shan and the others gave their answers and expressed their willingness to submit to Mo Qingyun. Of course, there were a few stubborn people who decided to fight Mo Qingyun to the end. The result was obvious. They were all killed by Mo Qingyun. Open up your sea of consciousness. I want to plant a soul imprint in it. Seeing that Tong Shan and the others were willing to submit to him, Mo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with them and immediately ordered them. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Tong Shan and the others did not dare to hesitate. They immediately opened up their sea of consciousness and allowed Mo Qingyun to plant a soul imprint. Greetings, Master. After a while, Tong Shan and the others were all planted with soul imprints. They knelt down respectfully before Mo Qingyun. No need to be so courteous. Rise. Seeing Tong Shan and the others' actions, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at them and said in a low voice, "From now on, you will protect the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe. If you dare to think that you can do whatever you want when I'm not in the tribe, you should know the consequences." We don't dare. Tong Shan and the others were terrified and immediately expressed their attitude to Mo Qingyun. Seeing Tong Shan and the others' reaction, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at them and said, "All right, your injuries are not light. Follow me back to the city to recover." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he led Tong Shan and the others and flew back to the barbarian bull thunder tiger city. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the barbarian bull thunder tiger city lord's mansion and summoned Tong Yuan and the others to the meeting hall. Tong Yuan, give me a rough description of the strength of each tribe. Seeing Tong Yuan and the others in the hall, Mo Qingyun asked them about the specific strength of the people from the various clans. Only by knowing the strength of each tribe could Mo Qingyun decide what to do next. Yes, there are a total of 3 constellation experts in the Black Abyss Thunder Tiger tribe. Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Tong Yuan and the others reported the situation of each tribe to Mo Qingyun in detail. After reporting the situation of each tribe, Tong Yuan asked Mo Qingyun with an inquiring expression, "Master, do you want us to take action now and completely subdue the other tribes?" "No need." Mo Qingyun shook his head in response to Tong Yuan's request and said, "From now on, your mission is to protect the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe. As for the expansion of the tribe, you do not need to interfere. Let them do it themselves." Hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, Tong Yuan's expression froze, each of them revealing a puzzled expression. Unexpectedly, while Tong Yuan and the others were puzzled, Lu Shenxiong and the others were also puzzled. As the saying went, "Send Buddha to the west." Since Mo Qingyun wanted to help the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe, why didn't he resolve the crisis for them once and for all? Seeing the expressions of Lu Shenxiong and the others, Mo Qingyun purposely smiled mysteriously and said, "Motivation comes with pressure. Without the threat of the other tribes, the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe will find it difficult to develop." Chapter 1503. Mr. Mo, thank you for your good intentions. This old man was foolish just now. After understanding Mo Qingyun's intentions, Lu Shenxiong clasped his hands in thanks to Mo Qingyun with an ashamed expression. Mo Qingyun's considerations were right. Without the threat of the other large tribes, the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe would no longer have that oppressive sense of crisis with Tong Shan and the others protecting them. Without this oppressive sense of crisis, the tribesmen of the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe would lose the pressure and motivation to become stronger. In this way, it wouldn't be easy for the barbarian bull thunder tiger tribe to grow stronger. Seeing that Lu Shenxiong understood his intentions, Emo Qingyun nodded his head in satisfaction and said, "Since the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe's crisis has been completely resolved, I should also leave this place." "Brother Emo, you're leaving now?" Lu Yanghu's expression changed when he heard that Emo Qingyun was leaving. He felt a strong sense of reluctance. Emo Qingyun had helped the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe greatly. He hadn't even had the chance to thank Emo Qingyun before Emo Qingyun actually wanted to leave. This made him feel very apologetic and ashamed. "I still have important matters to attend to. I can't stay here any longer." When he thought about his promise to Sia, Emo Qingyun didn't want to waste any more time. He wanted to reach the Nine-Tailed Fox tribe as soon as possible. Of course, Emo Qingyun was in a hurry to leave the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe because of Xian Xiao. Emo Qingyun was sure that Xian Xiao wouldn't let him off after he'd humiliated Xian Xiao last time. If Xian Xiao found out about his relationship with the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe, he might bring disaster to the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe. Therefore, it was better for him to leave the barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger tribe before Xian Zhao's revenge came. Otherwise, with Xian Zhao's strength as a perfected golden immortal, the barbarian Bull and Thunder Tiger tribe would face his wrath and be annihilated. Hearing Emo Qingyun's explanation, Lu Yanghu didn't ask him to stay any longer. He could only show his concern for Emo Qingyun. After chatting with Lu Yanghu and the others for a while, Emo Qingyun thought of something important and asked, "Right, do you know where the Nine-Tailed Fox clan is located? I once promised a friend that I would visit the Nine-Tailed Fox clan if I had the chance." Nine-Tailed Fox clan. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Lu Shenxiong and the others were shocked, thinking that they had misheard. The Nine-Tailed Fox race was ranked in the top 100 of the 10,000 ancient races. The fact that Emo Qingyun had a close relationship with the Nine-Tailed Fox clan came as a complete surprise to them. Compared to the shock of Lu Shenxiong and the others, Tong Yuan and the others were much calmer. They did not find this strange. Given Emo Qingyun's background as a Tianhun demon, it was normal for him to know a few people from the Nine-Tailed Fox race. On the other hand, it was the Nine-Tailed Fox race members' fortune to be acquainted with Emo Qingyun. After all, the Tianhun demon race was ranked in the top 10 of the 10,000 ancient races. The difference in strength between them and the Nine-Tailed Fox race could be described as the difference between heaven and earth. "Master, the Nine-Tailed Fox race is located in the Nine Immortal Mountain Range. It's very far from the Tianqing Mountain Range. We don't have a map of that place." Tong Yuan and the others pondered for a moment before reporting to Emo Qingyun. "Right now, we only have a map of the Tianqing Mountain Range. If Master wants a map of the Nine Immortal Mountain Range, you can try your luck at the Myriad Treasures Mountain Range." The Myriad Treasures Mountain Range? Could it be that a treasure with a map of the Wasteland continent has been unearthed in the Myriad Treasures Mountain Range? Hearing Tong Yuan's words, Emo Qingyun couldn't help but be stunned. This was his first thought. A treasure that records the map of the desolate continent has been unearthed? Tong Yuan was dumbfounded. He knew that Emo Qingyun had misunderstood. He hurriedly explained to Emo Qingyun, "Master, the Myriad Treasures Mountain Range is the territory of the Myriad Treasures race. The Myriad Treasures race is skilled in business and often have some treasures. Perhaps they have a map of the great desolate world." "I see." Hearing Tong Yuan's explanation, Emo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. He knew what Tong Yuan meant. Thinking of how powerful the Myriad Treasures race was, Tong Yuan's expression became more serious. He immediately said to Emo Qingyun, "Master, the Myriad Treasures race is not only skilled in business, but they are also very powerful. They are ranked in the top 50 of the 10,000 ancient races. You must not provoke them." "If that's the case, I have indeed underestimated the Myriad Treasures race." After hearing Tong Yuan's words, Emo Qingyun's expression changed. He was somewhat surprised by the myriad treasures race's strength. Then, Mo Qingyun learned the information he wanted from Tong Yuan. After a while, Mo Qingyun took the map of the heavenly mountain range from Tong Yuan's hands and said, "If that's the case, I will leave. You guys take good care of the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger race. When the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger race is able to protect itself, I will return your freedom. Master, please rest assured. We will do our best to protect the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger race." Hearing Mo Qingyun's promise, Tong Yuan and the others were delighted and immediately thanked Mo Qingyun. They would not feel wronged if they were to follow Mo Qingyun, but they were somewhat unwilling to protect the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger race. After all, the difference in status between the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger race and Mo Qingyun was too great. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's promise gave them hope in their hearts. There was more light in their gloomy lives. As long as they did their best, they would have a chance to regain their freedom. After giving instructions to Tong Yuan, Lu Shenxiong, and the others, Mo Qingyun left the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger City and slowly disappeared from everyone's sight. Seeing Mo Qingyun's figure disappear, Lu Shenxiong and the others were filled with emotion. It was as if they were in a dream. A young man with only the cultivation of the immortal infant stage could change the fate of the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger race with just a wave of his hand. This was too unreal. One day, Mr. Mo will definitely be famous in the wildlands. Thinking back to Mo Qingyun's various methods and his abnormal combat strength, Lu Shenxiong could not help but sigh. Hearing Lu Shenxiong's emotional words, Tong Yuan, who was beside him, was also emotional. He said, "I once read in an ancient book that when there are two heroes in a powerful tribe, one of them will be allowed to train and grow by himself. Master should be the one who trained by himself." Lu Shenxiong and the others sighed and then dispersed and returned to their own residences. In the vast starry sky, an ancient tree exuding an ancient aura floated quietly in the starry sky. The ancient tree was surrounded by layers of white clouds, dividing the ancient tree into 34 levels. If there was an almighty here, they would recognize that this was the 34 levels of the heavens. Near the first level of the clouds, on a withered tree trunk, a simple wooden house seemed out of place. "Damn brat! How dare he destroy my spirit of worship? That brat has the aura of the Fortune Immortal sect. It seems that the Fortune Immortal sect is really in the ancient wild world. Once we get the Fortune Gate, we can enter the eternal immortal realm and not be bound by the sixth Tao." As he got closer, he could hear the sounds of conversation coming from the wooden hut. Through the cracks of the house, they could vaguely see some figures moving about in the house. Chapter 1504. If Mo Qingyun was here, he would definitely be able to recognize these people. These people were the original statues that he had killed in the incense forest. Judging from their auras, they were much stronger than Xian Shao. They were not on the same level. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun did not know that these people's cultivation had reached such a level. Otherwise, he would feel as if he was sitting on a carpet of needles. He would not be able to remain calm. Of course, if Mo Qingyun heard their conversation, he would be even more excited. The mysterious light gate martial spirit was actually the immortal gate of creation that these people were talking about. It led to an eternal immortal realm. "Everyone, you should know how precious the immortal gate of creation is. Goathorn Demon, I know what you mean. You want us to work together and break through the first layer of the immortal prison. Let our consciousness wander the starry sky and control a creature from the ancient, desolate world. Old Crane, you're still the best. You saw through my thoughts with a single glance. This idea is not bad. However, our target cannot be too strong. Otherwise, it might attract the attention of the 6 heavenly Tao powerhouses. That kid is a heavenly soul demon. I think that controlling a heavenly soul demon junior will make it easier to do things in the future. This idea is very good. The people in the hut discussed for a while, then they began to cast spells to break through the first layer of the immortal prison and let their consciousness wander the starry sky. A heavenly soul demon junior who has condensed a star position is a very suitable target. Soon, a weak consciousness in the starry sky attracted the crane demon's attention. Discovering the existence of this consciousness, the crane demon immediately made a move and enslaved his consciousness. Those guys from the immortal heavenly Tao are here. I was almost discovered by them. After enslaving this consciousness, the crane demon was shocked and immediately withdrew his consciousness back into his sea of consciousness. Seeing the crane demon's consciousness awaken, the others revealed nervous expressions and immediately asked him about the situation. That was close. Just now, my consciousness wandered the starry sky and was almost discovered by those from the immortal heavenly Tao. Crane Feather Demon, did you succeed? If you didn't, it would be troublesome to cast the spell again. I, the Crane Demon, personally took action. How could I not succeed? My target is a heavenly soul demon in a small star position. Haha, old Crane is amazing. Now we just have to wait patiently. Seeing that everything was progressing smoothly, the demons laughed loudly and stopped doing anything else. In the distant Devil Wasteland domain, in a secluded courtyard among the heavenly soul demons, a young man who was cultivating with his eyes closed suddenly opened his eyes. A cold glint flashed across his eyes. A 10-star heavenly soul demon. This is the legendary King bloodline. Interesting. After the young man opened his eyes, an image appeared in front of him. The figure in the image was none other than Mo Qingyun. After carefully sizing up Mo Qingyun, the young man frowned slightly and said with a puzzled expression, "Judging from this person's temperament, he shouldn't be more than 500 years old. In the past 500 years, there hasn't been a case of two heroes. Who exactly is he? This is getting more and more interesting." Remembering Mo Qingyun's identity, the young man smiled. His eyes turned colder and colder. "Fella, I don't care who you are. Even without my master's order, I will not let you go." The young man muttered to himself. He waved his hand in the air and looked for a summoning gesture. Under the young man's summoning, a middle-aged man with silver wings on his back walked over. He respectfully half-knelt to the young man and said, "Greetings, young lord. May I know why the young lord has summoned me?" "Inchi, go and investigate a person for me immediately. Do everything you can to get information about him." After summoning the silver-winged middle-aged man, the young man said to him. Then, he projected an image and said, "The person I want to investigate is this young man in the image. A 10-star heavenly soul demon bloodline. Could this be the legendary King bloodline?" Seeing Mo Qingyun in the image, Inchi was shocked. He couldn't help but sigh. He hasn't even awakened his bloodline, but his bloodline has already reached the King bloodline. Once his bloodline awakens, won't he reach an even higher level? No wonder the young lord wants to get rid of him. This person is indeed a threat. Seeing Mo Qingyun's talent, Inchi was enlightened. He understood why the young man did this. Seeing Mo Qingyun in the image, Inchi's expression was complicated. He couldn't help but feel a trace of pity. He thought to himself, with such monstrous talent, if he returned to the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, he would definitely be nurtured by the clan and become another great prodigy. Now it's a pity. The competition between large clans is truly cruel. Inchi sighed in his heart. He left the young man's courtyard and went to investigate Mo Qingyun. Heavenly Mountain Range, not far from the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger City. When Mo Qingyun left the Barbarian Bull Thunder Tiger City, his expression suddenly changed. The corners of his eyes twitched rapidly. At this moment, a strong sense of uneasiness grew in his heart. Why is it like this? Why can my heart be so calm? There's always this feeling of uneasiness. Realizing the strong sense of uneasiness in his heart, Mo Qingyun's expression changed greatly. A strong sense of doubt rose in his heart. This feeling had appeared in the Heavenly Soul continent before. That was when he wanted to deal with him. Could it be because of Xian Xiao? Thinking back to the situation in the Heavenly Soul continent, Mo Qingyun guessed the reason for this situation. He muttered to himself, "It should be like this. When I was chased by Li He on the Heavenly Soul continent, I also had this feeling. Looks like I have to leave the Heavenly Mountain Range as soon as possible and enter the inner regions of the God race." Forcefully suppressing the uneasiness in his heart, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to delay any longer. He immediately fled towards the inner regions of the Heavenly Mountain Range. On the way, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any time. He gave Joss flames to Mo Zai and the others so that they could refine them and break through. After giving some Joss flames to Mo Zai and the others so that they could try to condense star positions, Mo Qingyun began to enter seclusion to break through. However, sometimes reality was always a little different from the plan. When Mo Qingyun was preparing to break through, the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle was targeted by a group of people and was chased by a group of people, courting death. Seeing this situation, Mo Qingyun's face darkened and his body emitted a murderous aura. Now that he was racing against time, there were actually people who came to ruin his plans. How could he let these people off? Immediately, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared on the back of the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle. There's actually another person on the back of the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle. Does that brat have a spatial treasure? Seeing Mo Qingyun suddenly appear in the group of people chasing after the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle, a youth in the lead said in surprise, "Brat, I've taken a fancy to your mount. Give me a price. Our Bountiful Treasures tribe has plenty of money." "Don't worry, I can't afford it." Bountiful Treasures tribe? Hearing this youth's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He was somewhat surprised by this person's background. After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a smile. He said in pleasant surprise, "This person is actually from the Bountiful Treasures tribe. He should know how to get there." Chapter 1505. Young man, have you decided what price you want? Seeing that Mo Qingyun had not spoken for a long time, the young man from the Bountiful Treasures tribe urged him impatiently. The young man from the Bountiful Treasures tribe urged Mo Qingyun. He smiled slyly and said, "How about this? I'll give you 50,000 lower-grade celestial stones, and you'll sell the mount to me. What do you think?" Hearing the young man from the Bountiful Treasures tribe, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said, "You're really generous. How about this? I'll make a deal with you." "You want to make a deal with me?" The young man from the Bountiful Treasures tribe was delighted. He thought that Mo Qingyun was tempted. He said eagerly, "The Bountiful Treasures tribe loves friends who know how to do business. Tell me, what kind of deal do you want to make with me?" Under the young man's gaze, Mo Qingyun's smile widened. He smiled faintly and said, "Give me a map of the Bountiful Treasures mountain range, and I'll spare your lives. How about that?" "You spared our lives? Are you sure you're right?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the young man from the Bountiful Treasures tribe was stunned. He thought that he had misheard. Even the weakest person on their side had a cultivation base that had reached the level of a small star. Mo Qingyun's complete celestial infant stage cultivation did not seem to be a threat to them. "I'm sure." Mo Qingyun nodded calmly. There was no sadness or joy on his face. "Haha, did you hear that? This young man is threatening me." Although the young man from the Bountiful Treasures tribe knew that Mo Qingyun was serious, he could not help but laugh. He looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. Obviously, he did not think that Mo Qingyun was a threat to them. A young man at the celestial infant stage dares to talk nonsense here. He must be tired of living. In my opinion, this kid is probably too scared, so he got the person he was talking about wrong. This young man probably thinks that we, the Bountiful Treasures tribe, won't kill anyone because we don't fight. If a powerful tribe doesn't have blood on their hands, how can they intimidate other tribes? Young Master Yen Tao, please take a rest aside and wait for us to capture this young man. As soon as the young man of the Multi-Treasures clan finished speaking, the people around him mocked and laughed at Mo Qingyun. Hearing the words of these people, the youth called Yen Tao walked to the side with a cold smile and said, "This brat is mentally connected to the golden-crowned snake-feather eagle. Once he dies, the golden-crowned snake-feather eagle will also die. Don't be in a hurry to kill him. Just capture him." "Yes, young Master Yen Tao." After receiving Yen Tao's instructions, the people behind Yen Tao surrounded Mo Qingyun. Seeing these people approaching, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a sneer, his eyes flashing with mockery. These people weren't very strong, but their cultivations were all above the lesser star realm. The strongest person's cultivation had even reached the peak of the major star realm. Mo Qingyun wasn't in a hurry to summon ghosts after knowing their cultivation bases. Instead, he used the fusion gate to increase his strength. Recently, he hadn't found a suitable sparring partner. These people's cultivation bases were just right to be his sparring partners. Just as Mo Qingyun was thinking about this, a middle-aged man with an early major star realm cultivation base quickly came in front of him. "Brat, you've got guts. How dare you be disrespectful to young Master Yen Tao? Get over here and accept your punishment." The middle-aged man shouted at Mo Qingyun angrily. He stretched out his palm toward Mo Qingyun and grabbed at Mo Qingyun's shoulder. "Demon Shadow Traceless. Thunder Wind Path." Seeing the middle-aged man's action, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. He quickly dodged to the side. Mo Qingyun's figure moved, and a domain of wind and thunder was instantly formed in an area with a diameter of 100 meters around him. Boom, boom, boom. The middle-aged man entered the domain of wind and thunder and was immediately bombarded by thunderbolts. In an instant, he was blasted black. In addition, after being bombarded by several thunderbolts, the middle-aged man lost his ability to fight in the blink of an eye. Seeing this scene, Yen Tao and the others by the side all revealed shocked expressions. This brat only moved his body, and Wang Jiang was seriously injured and lost his ability to fight? That seems to be the case. It seems that this brat is not simple. Judging from the situation just now, this brat's real combat strength is probably comparable to a major star realm expert. He's only in the immortal infant stage, but he has the combat strength of a major star realm expert. This is too abnormal. Seeing Mo Qingyun's amazing performance, Yen Tao and the others were shocked. They did not dare to underestimate Mo Qingyun anymore. Immediately, these followers of Yen Tao were ready to join forces to deal with Mo Qingyun. "All of you back off. I'm going to deal with this brat myself." Seeing the actions of his followers, Yen Tao gave them an order and walked forward alone. Seeing that Yen Tao was going to make a move, the followers behind him immediately showed excited expressions. Young Master Yen Tao is a genius of the Snow Ridge bloodline of the Myriad Treasures tribe. He also has the ability to fight those of a higher level. That's right. Although young Master Yen Tao is only in the lesser star realm, his strength is comparable to a constellation realm expert. Young Master Yen Tao is going to deal with this brat personally. This brat will definitely lose miserably. Everyone flattered Yen Tao, believing that Yen Tao could definitely defeat Mo Qingyun. Under everyone's gaze, Yen Tao came to Mo Qingyun. He raised his head proudly and said, "Brat, I haven't fought for 9 years. I hope you won't disappoint me." Superpower, Magical Treasure Frenzy. As soon as Yen Tao finished speaking, he formed a hand seal and pointed at Mo Qingyun. One after another, strangely shaped magical treasures flew out from Yen Tao's hand, emitting a shocking aura. These magical treasures were not low-grade. They were all immortal artifacts. There were more than 70 of them. Although most of them were low-grade immortal artifacts, it was still a considerable amount of wealth, controlling more than 70 magical treasures. This superpower is quite interesting. Seeing Yen Tao's move, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He had a whole new level of respect for Yen Tao. Originally, Mo Qingyun thought that this Yen Tao was just a spoiled brat. He didn't expect him to have some ability. Fortune Mainland, collect. Seeing Yen Tao's move, Mo Qingyun decisively took out the Fortune Mainland. Compared to the 5 Directions small pagoda, using the Fortune Mainland to collect magical treasures was more efficient and effective. While Mo Qingyun was collecting incense, he discovered a new characteristic of the Fortune Mainland. Once something from the outside world was collected into the Fortune Mainland, it would lose contact with the outside world. When the Fortune Mainland was taken out, it began to expand infinitely, emitting a powerful suction force. Then, Yen Tao saw his magical treasures being sucked into the Fortune Mainland. What shocked Yen Tao even more was that when his magical treasures entered the Fortune Mainland, it was like a stone sinking into the sea. There was no connection at all. These magical treasures had been refined by Yen Tao and were connected to his mind. Puff. Now that these magical treasures were forcibly collected by Mo Qingyun, Yen Tao's mind was immediately injured. He vomited mouthfuls of blood. Chapter 1506. You'll find out when you're dead. Mo Qingyun's expression was cold as he charged toward Yen Tao. Quick! Everyone, protect young Master Yen Tao. When they saw Mo Qingyun attacking Yen Tao, the others panicked and rushed toward Yen Tao. Golden Snake flashing halberd. When everyone rushed toward Yen Tao, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and disappeared from everyone's perception. When they saw Mo Qingyun's figure disappear, Yen Tao and the others' expressions changed drastically. Their expressions were tense and vigilant. Soon, the crowd was like an iron wall, surrounding Yen Tao in the middle. Seeing that he was surrounded and his safety was guaranteed, Yen Tao revealed an arrogant expression and said, "Brat, you escaped quickly. Otherwise, when this young master used his full strength, I would definitely make your blood splatter on the spot today. Young Master Yen Tao is mighty. He didn't even use all his strength and he scared that boy away. That boy is no match for young Master Yen Tao." Young Master Yen Tao was in a good mood just now and purposely played with him. I can guarantee that when that boy knows young Master Yen Tao's identity, he'll obediently return young Master Yen Tao's Dharma treasure. Everyone surrounded Mo Qingyun. When they saw that Mo Qingyun did not make a move, they thought that Mo Qingyun had escaped. Hearing the flattering words of the crowd, the complacent expression on Yen Tao's face immediately became thicker as he said, "Kid, don't say that this young master didn't give you a chance. If you have the ability, then feel free to attack this young master. This young master definitely won't move an inch." Clang! Before Yen Tao could finish his words, a terrifying aura locked him in place. Then, a sharp-gummed golden celestial spiritual energy rushed toward him, piercing the skin on his face and causing him to feel pain. However, what really frightened Yen Tao was the halberd that was approaching him at an extremely fast speed. Hiss! Yen Tao sucked in a breath of cold air and immediately turned to flee. He did not dare to take Mo Qingyun's halberd head-on. However, when Yen Tao turned to flee, he felt like vomiting blood when he saw that all his escape routes were blocked. Now, he could not escape even if he wanted to. Seeing that there was no hope for him to escape, Yen Tao's reaction was quick. He immediately tilted his head and narrowly avoided Mo Qingyun's halberd. Poochie! Although Yen Tao's head avoided the halberd, his body could not avoid it and was pierced by Mo Qingyun's halberd. As the halberd pierced Yen Tao, Mo Qingyun exerted some strength in his hand and flicked the Scarlet Star battle halberd in his hand, sending Yen Tao flying. "Young Master Yen Tao! Brat, how dare you hurt young Master Yen Tao? You guys go kill that brat, we'll go protect young Master Yen Tao." Seeing this sudden turn of events, Yen Tao's guards split into 2 groups. Half of them went to protect Yen Tao while the other half went to kill Mo Qingyun. Heaven's sealing fist. When he's was, Yen Tao's a very well, A's AV is a re a instantly, a black mist-like celestial spiritual power gathered in the air above them. In the blink of an eye, the black mist-like celestial spiritual power formed a giant fist that was filled with demonic might. Bang! With a loud sound, the people who were attacking Mo Qingyun were hit by the heaven sealing fist. Then, these people were trapped by a huge circle of light, unable to move an inch. Heaven's sealing fist. He's a heavenly soul demon. When he saw Mo Qingyun's attack, Yen Tao was so scared that his body trembled and his lips trembled. As a heavenly being of the Myriad Treasures tribe and Shui Ling's bloodline, Yen Tao had a lot of experience. Therefore, when he saw Mo Qingyun's attack, he immediately recognized Mo Qingyun's origin. Yen Tao was scared out of his wits when he thought of the strength of the heavenly soul demon. He looked at Mo Qingyun in horror. This time, he had kicked an iron plate. You did well just now. Do you dare to do it again? Mo Qingyun came close to Yen Tao. He was not in a hurry to attack him. Instead, he teased him with a faint smile. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yen Tao immediately trembled in fright, revealing an expression that was even uglier than if his father had died. He bitterly said, No need, young master, I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. I ask that you be magnanimous and forgive me this once, okay? What a joke. He had reacted fast enough just now to save his life. If he did it again, he could not guarantee that he could react so fast again. Let you go. Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows. He quickly pondered in his mind, weighing the best course of action. Soon, Mo Qingyun had a plan. He said to Yen Tao coldly, If you don't want me to kill you, I can do it. Now, open up your sea of consciousness and let me plant a soul imprint in it. From then on, you will listen to my orders. Yen Tao and the others looked at each other. They were hesitating whether to agree to Mo Qingyun's request. Okay, I agree. After thinking for a short while, Yen Tao made a helpless decision. He agreed to be controlled by Mo Qingyun. This was because he knew that from Mo Qingyun's actions, if he did not agree to Mo Qingyun's request, he would really die here today. With Mo Qingyun's status as a heavenly soul demon, if he really wanted to kill him, he would not hesitate at all. As for his status as a member of the Many Treasures race, he could scare the weaker races. However, it was impossible for him to scare Mo Qingyun. Of course, from Yen Tao's point of view, with Mo Qingyun's status as a heavenly soul demon, it was not shameful to become his servant. Seeing that Yen Tao had agreed to submit to Mo Qingyun, the others naturally did not dare to resist. One by one, they allowed Mo Qingyun to plant a soul imprint. From their point of view, as long as they could protect Yen Tao's life, their mission would be completed. If Yen Tao really died, there was no need for them to go back. They would also die if they went back. I want to go to the Many Treasures race. You lead the way. After subduing Yen Tao and the others, Mo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with Yen Tao and directly ordered him. Yes. Yen Tao nodded and respectfully led the way in front. Seeing Mo Qingyun riding the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle, Yen Tao's expression was bitter and his heart was filled with regret. If he had known this would happen, he would not have captured the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle. For a golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle of the true immortal realm, he had become someone else's servant. Of course, Yen Tao did not dare to say this out loud. Now, he could only obey Mo Qingyun's orders. After checking Yen Tao and the others and seeing that they did not dare to play any tricks, Mo Qingyun entered the Five Directions Small Pagoda. Seeing Mo Qingyun enter the Five Directions Small Pagoda, Yen Tao and the others' expressions did not change. They were surprised that Mo Qingyun had a spatial treasure. However, when they thought of Mo Qingyun's status as a heavenly soul demon, they felt relieved. As a genius of the heavenly soul demon race, it was normal for Mo Qingyun to have such a treasure. Chapter 1507. Not long after Mo Qingyun and the others left, a figure gradually appeared at the place where they had been fighting. As soon as this figure appeared, he frowned and took out a strange token. When the token was taken out, it flashed with a dazzling light, as if it was reacting to something. The shadow tracking token reacted, which means that the shadow hunting seal appeared here before. It seems that Mo Qingyun has been here before. When he saw the token in his hand react, the person's expression was cold as he surveyed his surroundings. Sweeping his gaze over the surroundings, the person narrowed his eyes and said coldly, "There is a violent fluctuation of immortal spiritual power in the air. It seems that there was a fierce battle here not long ago." Judging from the intensity of the immortal spiritual power in the air, the person who left behind this immortal spiritual power should be at the constellation rank. After obtaining some useful information from the surroundings, the person began to deduce. Mo Qingyun used some kind of remarkable ability that allowed his cultivation to reach the constellation rank. It seems that the battle that happened here has something to do with him. The person silently speculated, then took out a blood-colored arrow and shot it into the sky. After shooting the shadow blood positioning arrow, the senior brothers will soon receive the signal and chase after Mo Qingyun in this direction. Seeing that everything was ready, the person's footsteps didn't stop as he chased after Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't know that the latter was chasing after him. Right now, he was wholeheartedly immersed in cultivation, striving to break through as quickly as possible. Now that he had enough incense, he didn't waste any more time and immediately completed his star position. Under the constant replenishment of incense, the originally incomplete unparalleled God of War star position slowly became complete. As the unparalleled God of War star position became more complete, the connection between Mo Qingyun and the unparalleled God of War star also became stronger. Gradually, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but have the illusion that he was the unparalleled God of War star, and the unparalleled God of War star was him. About 10 days later, under Mo Qingyun's concentrated cultivation, his supreme star position was finally perfected. So it turns out that a complete star position can increase one's combat strength to such a degree. Mo Qingyun couldn't help but sigh when he sensed the power of the perfect star position. He smiled in surprise and said, "Now, I can only use the unparalleled War God star position. Without using the fusion gate, I should be able to fight against a major star position pinnacle master. Since the star positions have been condensed, now is the time to increase my cultivation." Mo Qingyun's current cultivation had already reached the peak of the immortal infant stage. He was only a step away from the true immortal realm. Furthermore, his star position had already been condensed. Once he broke through to the true immortal realm, he would directly advance to the lesser star position realm. "Master, we're being watched." Just as Mo Qingyun was about to start his cultivation, Yen Tao's panicked voice rang in his mind. "That man is very powerful. He is a powerful existence at the half-step golden celestial stage. What should we do now?" "A half-step golden immortal?" Hearing Yen Tao's words, Mo Qingyun frowned. He didn't expect to encounter such a situation. Mo Qingyun was silent for a moment. He thought quickly and said, "Don't panic. Try to calm him down and try to find out his origin." "Okay." After hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Yen Tao had a plan and knew how to deal with the other party. Yen Tao didn't ignore Mo Qingyun's instructions. Instead, he released a wave of soul power from the 5-directional small pagoda to sense the specific situation around him. So powerful. This man's aura is stronger than Li Chang's. His strength should be more terrifying than Li Chang's. When Mo Qingyun's soul power spread out, he could sense the man's aura. He couldn't help but be shocked. He thought to himself, In addition, this man has bloodline power. Judging from the strength of his bloodline, his tribe should be ranked in the top 100 of the 10,000 Archean tribe board. While Emo Chinyun was guessing the other party's origin, the man frowned and looked at Emo Chinyun suspiciously. He said, "The fluctuation of aura from the battle just now was similar to the aura of these people. Could it be that they were fighting with Emo Chinyun?" As soon as this thought appeared in his mind, the man immediately caught up and shouted at Yen Tao and the others, "Stop right there! Who are you? Why are you following us sneakily?" Seeing that the man had caught up with them, Yen Tao wanted to take him down a notch and questioned him unhappily. Hearing Yen Tao's question, the man frowned even more. He raised his head and said proudly, "I am one of the 12 celestial kings under Sir God Xian Zhao, Celestial King Golden Eagle, Yuanhe. Sir God Xian Zhao's men caught up with us so quickly." After knowing the other party's origin, Emo Chinyun was shocked and his heart sank. From what the other party said, it seemed that there were a total of 12 people who were chasing after him. 12 experts in the half-step to Golden Immortal Realm were chasing after him. The situation wasn't optimistic. Underlings of Sir God. Hearing the other party's identity, Yen Tao was shocked and there was fear and respect in his eyes. Although there were Sir Gods of the Daluo Golden Immortal Realm in the Myriad Treasures tribe, there wasn't such an expert in the Xueling tribe. Moreover, from the other party's tone, there seemed to be 12 experts in the half-step to Golden Immortal Realm under Sir God Xian Zhao. Such a strong force wasn't one that the Xueling tribe of the Myriad Treasures tribe could afford to offend. Hence, it was better to be careful. Thinking of this, Yen Tao put away his arrogant attitude and said respectfully, "Senior, I wonder what orders you have. I will try my best to complete them." "You know what's good for you." Seeing the change in Yen Tao's attitude, Yuanhe looked better and said, "Sir God Xian Zhao ordered us to chase after a fugitive. Along the way, I sensed his aura on all of you. I suspect that all of you might have been in contact with him. I need you to cooperate with me to track down his escape." "Me?" Yen Tao was stunned. He was confused by Yuanhe's words. Of course, at the same time that Yen Tao was confused, he felt more depressed and bitter. Why was he so unlucky? He had been tortured by Emo Chinyun and now, he had encountered such a person. At that moment, when Yen Tao was feeling frustrated, he suddenly thought of a crucial point. Could the person that the senior wants to catch be my master? When this thought came to Yen Tao's mind, he was so frightened that his face twitched and cold sweat broke out on his back. He thought to himself, "Master even dared to provoke a Sir God. He is too bold. I have offended someone like him. I must be tired of living." After figuring out the cause and effect of the matter, Yen Tao immediately felt like he had survived a disaster, and there was a lingering fear in his heart. Chapter 1508. Release your souls. I'm going to search your souls. If you have nothing to do with that person, I won't make things difficult for you. Just as Yen Tao felt a lingering fear, Yuanhe ordered Yen Tao and the others with a cold expression. Search their souls. Yen Tao and the others trembled when they heard Yuanhe's words. They immediately showed some reluctance. If they let Yuanhe search their souls, it would be equivalent to exposing all their secrets to him. More importantly, if Yuanhe was careless, it was very likely that their souls would be destroyed. In comparison, Yuanhe's actions were much colder than Emo Chinyun enslaving them. Although Emo Chinyun had enslaved them, Emo Chinyun wouldn't endanger their lives during the process. Yuanhe's actions were completely for his own purposes. He didn't care about their lives at all. "I hope that you're all smart people and won't force my hand." Yuanhe's expression turned ugly when he saw that Yen Tao and the others weren't cooperating. A chilling intent radiated from him. Under the pressure of Yuanhe's aura, Yen Tao and the others trembled. Their faces paled slightly. "Master, what do we do?" Yen Tao panicked slightly in the face of Yuanhe's aura. He immediately asked for Mo Qingyun's opinion. Mo Qingyun couldn't help but shake his head when he heard Yen Tao's panicked words. He sighed inside. This Yuwenhe is ruthless enough. It looks like I can't hide anymore. Mo Qingyun knew very well that Yen Tao and the others were definitely not Yuwenhe's opponent with their strength. Once Yuwenhe used force, Yen Tao definitely wouldn't be his opponent. He would forcefully search his soul. At that time, Mo Qingyun's hiding place would naturally be exposed. As a result, Mo Qingyun would be forced into a passive position. He might as well just show himself. Mo Qingyun was still counting on Yen Tao to bring him into the Myriad Treasures tribe. He couldn't let Yen Tao die yet. Afterwards, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and he emerged from the 5 directional towers. He arrived beside Yen Tao and the others. Master! Seeing Mo Qingyun appear beside him, Yen Tao immediately revealed a happy expression, as if he had found his backbone. When Yen Tao saw Mo Qingyun, Yuwenhe also saw Mo Qingyun. He sneered and said, "You are quite capable. You actually managed to subdue a group of people from the many treasures race. However, it is impossible for you to escape from our pursuit. Looks like I've underestimated Xian Xiao. If my guess is correct, he must have left a mark on me." Seeing that Yuwenhe had accurately found him, Mo Qingyun immediately guessed that Xian Xiao must have left a tracking mark on him. Otherwise, how could Yuwenhe find him so easily in the vast space between the Eternal South Immortal Domain and the Sky Pillar Mountain Range? Since you know, then obediently allow yourself to be captured. You won't be able to escape from Master's palm. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had guessed the truth, Yuwenhe did not try to hide it. Instead, he ordered Mo Qingyun arrogantly. The wild continent is boundless. Xian Xiao is only a monarch god. He can't cover the sky with one hand. Mo Qingyun did not back down at Yuwenhe's words. His expression gradually turned cold and he said, "You're not in a hurry to attack me. I'm sure you're not confident that you can take me down. You're stalling for time while waiting for reinforcements." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yuwenhe's expression clearly twitched. Clearly, Mo Qingyun had hit the nail on the head. In Yuwenhe's opinion, if Mo Qingyun could escape from Xian Zhao's telekinesis projection, he could probably escape from him as well. If that was the case, he might as well stall for time and wait for Xing Zhuang and the others to arrive. With Xing Zhuang's strength as a golden immortal of the great all-embracing heaven, no matter how many tricks Mo Qingyun had up his sleeve, he would definitely be captured by Xing Zhuang. The sealed door. Seeing the change in Yuwenhe's expression, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately attacked Yuwenhe. He did not dare to let Yuwenhe stall for time and wait for his reinforcements to arrive. This would put him in a passive position. A mini-light door quickly formed in front of Mo Qingyun and blasted towards Yuwenhe. Yuwenhe did not expect Mo Qingyun to be so decisive. He attacked without hesitation. In the face of Mo Qingyun's sudden attack, Yuwenhe had no choice but to frantically block it. Pucci. However, Yuwenhe's attack did not block the sealed door. The sealed door still blasted into his body. After being hit by the sealed door, Yuwenhe's expression changed drastically. He knew what was going to happen. I can't block such a technique. Realizing that his cultivation level had dropped, Yuwenhe was shocked. His expression was filled with fear. Soon, Yuwenhe's cultivation level dropped from the half-step golden immortal realm to the beginner stage of the constellation realm. Wu Yu, restrain him for me. After using the sealed door to attack Yuwenhe, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately asked Wu Yu to help him. Yuwenhe was a disciple of a golden immortal realm expert. He must have powerful techniques. Mo Qingyun had to be on guard against him. Soon, Wu Yu appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and rushed towards Yuwenhe. After these days of recovery, Wu Yu's strength was stronger than before. He was about the same as Yuwenhe when he was at his peak. a half-step golden immortal realm witch doctor. Seeing Wu Yu suddenly appear, Yuan He was shocked. His expression twitched as he said, How is this possible? He's just an immortal infant realm kid. How could he have subdued a half-step golden immortal realm witch doctor as a star general? What shocked Yuan He was not that Emo Qingyun had subdued Wu Yu. Instead, since Emo Qingyun could subdue Wu Yu, he must have the strength to defeat a half-step golden immortal realm expert. If that was the case, the outcome of facing Emo Qingyun and Wu Yu's joint attack was predictable. With this thought in mind, Yuan He's face turned pale. His expression darkened as he said, Emo Qingyun, count yourself lucky this time. I underestimated your strength. You won't be so lucky next time. Shadow blood escape. Yuan He was decisive. As soon as he finished speaking, he used a secret technique to escape. Then, Yuan He turned into a line of blood and disappeared in front of Emo Qingyun's eyes. This dark demon has fused with the bloodline of the Moro blood snake clan. Seeing Yuan He's secret technique, Wu Yu frowned. He had seen through Yuan He's background. After knowing Yuan He's background, Wu Yu's expression turned serious. He sighed. It seems that the dark demon has fully revealed himself. The wild continent is not far from chaos. Wu Yu sighed. His figure flashed and returned to Emo Qingyun's soul palace. Let's go. Seeing that Yuan He had escaped, Emo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer. He ordered Yen Tao and the others to hurry. Although Yuan He and the others were powerful, if Emo Qingyun entered the Myriad Treasures clan, they would still have some scruples. Chapter 1509. At the foot of the Tianqing mountain range, a ray of light descended from the sky, revealing a wretched figure. It was Yuan He, who had used a secret technique to escape. Cough, cough, cough. Yuan He held onto an ancient tree to steady himself. He coughed out blood continuously, and his face turned extremely pale. When he was attacked by the sealed door, his bloodline and spiritual soul had already suffered considerable damage. After that, he had used a secret technique by force, causing his bloodline and spiritual soul to suffer even more damage. Now, he had suffered even more damage. Emo Qingyun, I will remember what you did today. In the future, I, Yuan He, will repay you 100-fold. When he thought about how he had never suffered so much since he started cultivating, Yuan He was so angry that his teeth itched. More importantly, Emo Qingyun was only at the immortal infant stage. This made him feel extremely aggrieved and resentful. That brat is full of tricks. In order to prevent senior brothers from falling into his trap, I should contact senior brothers first. Seeing that he had suffered at the hands of Emo Qingyun, Yuan He immediately took out an arrow and shot it into the sky. There were many Daluo golden immortals in the Myriad Treasures tribe. Yuan He was worried that Emo Qingyun would use the power of the Myriad Treasures tribe to deal with Xing Zhuang and the others who were chasing after him. After sending a signal to Xing Zhuang and the others to inform them of his current situation, Yuan He began to cultivate and recover. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. After some time, two figures came to Yuan He's side and looked at him nervously. The appearance of these two figures immediately attracted Yuan He's attention, causing him to withdraw from his cultivation. Senior brother Chen Chang, senior brother Zhou Duo, you're here. Seeing the two standing beside him, Yuan He's face lit up. He greeted them and said, Where are the other senior brothers? Are they all here? Chen Chang and Zhou Zhe were the same as Yuan He. They were Xian Zhao's personal disciples. Zhou Zhe and Yuan He's cultivation were the same. They were both at the half-step golden immortal stage. As for Chen Chang, he had already reached the golden celestial stage, which was similar to Shi Tongqing and the others from the Eternal South Immortal Palace. Something happened in the floating dragon ancient kingdom. Senior brother Xing Zhuang and the others went to suppress it. When he heard Yuan He's question, Zhou Zhe gave a simple explanation. He revealed an indifferent expression and said, "Senior Brother Chen Chang is a golden immortal. With the help of the two of us, do you think we won't be able to catch Mo Qingyun?" "That's true." Yuan He nodded, not objecting to Zhou Zei's point of view. Two half-step golden celestial stage experts and a golden celestial stage expert. Even if Mo Qingyun had Wu Yu's help, it would still be difficult for him to escape from them. While the two of them were talking, Chen Chang frowned slightly. He asked in a deep voice, "Junior Brother Yuan, are you injured? When I was chasing Mo Qingyun a few days ago, I didn't expect him to have a half-step golden celestial stage expert with him. I accidentally fell into their trap." Yuan He gave a simple explanation and covered up the reason for his injury. He then said, "After 2 days of recuperation, my injury is no longer a problem. Let's go after Mo Qingyun." "Okay." Chen Chang and Wu Yu nodded and headed toward the Myriad Treasures tribe with Yuan He. On the way to the Myriad Treasures tribe, Mo Qingyun instructed Yen Tao and the others to hurry while he once again entered the 5 Directions small pagoda to cultivate and raise his cultivation level. Being chased by an expert like Xian Xiao, Mo Qingyun did not dare to slack off. He did not want to take any chances. Mo Qingyun was sure that Xian Xiao was a golden celestial of the great all-embracing golden celestial stage experts among the people he sent. With his current strength, even with Wu Yu's help, it would still be difficult for him to deal with an expert of the golden celestial stage. It would be fine if he encountered one, but if he encountered 2 or more, he would be in danger. Since the Supreme Star position has been condensed, I can now focus on breaking through my cultivation level. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He took out a large number of immortal stones and piled them around him. The Devouring Gate. After taking out a large number of immortal stones, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and immediately absorbed the spiritual energy in the immortal stones. Under the absorption of the Devouring Gate, the spiritual energy in the immortal stones was immediately extracted and entered the Devouring Gate like thin threads. After extracting the spiritual energy in the immortal stones, the Devouring Gate transformed the spiritual energy and transferred it all into Mo Qingyun's body. As soon as the immortal spiritual energy entered his body, Mo Qingyun immediately sensed it and began to refine and absorb it. As Mo Qingyun absorbed the immortal spiritual energy, the amount of immortal spiritual energy in his body became more and more abundant. At the same time, the aura that Mo Qingyun emitted became more and more powerful. As Mo Qingyun had already condensed the Supreme Star position, there was no longer any restriction on him breaking through to the true immortal realm. If Mo Qingyun wanted to, he could directly raise his cultivation level to the peak of the Lesser Star position. As time passed, the aura that Mo Qingyun emitted continued to rise. 5 days later, the quasi-true immortal realm. Half a month later, the half-step true immortal realm. After an unknown period of time, Mo Qingyun's aura skyrocketed and entered the true immortal realm. Buzz. The moment Mo Qingyun's cultivation level broke through, he felt a buzz in his head before he could rejoice. The light gate martial spirit in his sea of consciousness suddenly throbbed and emitted a dazzling light. The light gate martial spirit is stirring at this time. Could it be a new martial spirit superpower? With previous experiences, Mo Qingyun instinctively had this thought when he encountered such a situation again. Through the light emitted by the light gate martial spirit, Mo Qingyun could vaguely see a strange light gate slowly taking shape. After a while, the light of the light gate martial spirit dissipated and revealed the scene within. Inside the light door martial spirit, there was a new small light door. This meant that the light gate martial spirit had a new martial spirit superpower. There are 2 grooves on this small light gate. I wonder what kind of martial spirit superpower it is. After observing the new martial soul divine ability, Mo Qingyun revealed a curious expression and a trace of anticipation appeared in his heart. Every time the light gate martial spirit produced a martial spirit superpower, his strength would skyrocket. This time would not be an exception. With this in mind, Mo Qingyun activated the martial spirit superpower to see what it could do. Under Mo Qingyun's activation, a light gate with 2 grooves quickly condensed in front of him. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that the door of light with 2 grooves didn't seem to have any additional abilities when it appeared. How could this be? Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun had a puzzled look on his face. He was very puzzled. Based on past experiences, the martial spirit superpower derived from the light gate martial spirit could not be useless. I must have been careless. Chapter 15:10. The new martial soul's light door has 2 more grooves than the others. Could it be that these 2 grooves are the key? As Mo Qingyun continued to study, his eyes suddenly lit up and an idea flashed through his mind. He found a breakthrough point. Once his train of thought was opened, Mo Qingyun's research on the new martial soul's light door immediately became clear. From the shape of these 2 grooves, it seems to be similar to the martial soul's light door. After observing the new martial soul's light door, Mo Qingyun touched his chin and a bold idea popped up in his mind. Could it be that the 2 grooves of the new martial soul's light door can be embedded with other martial soul's light doors? As soon as this thought appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind, it gave him quite a fright. However, although Mo Qingyun was shocked, he could not help but want to try. Mo Qingyun displayed the sealed door and the new martial soul's light door. He embedded the sealed door's light door into the grooves of the new martial soul's light door. As the sealed door was embedded in the groove, the light door of the new martial soul's divine ability began to emit a sealing power. Success! Seeing the changes in the new martial soul's light door, Mo Qingyun's face lit up and his heartbeat accelerated. From the current situation, the use of the new martial soul's light door was exactly as he had guessed. The new martial soul's light door has the sealed door's ability after embedding it. What if I embed another divine ability door? Seeing this, Mo Qingyun began to draw inferences. He wanted to see the effect of embedding 2 divine ability doors. Let's try embedding the domain door. Mo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat. He conjured the domain gate and inserted it into another knot. After that, a strand of shocking sealing energy effused out from an area of 5 kilometers around Mo Qingyun. Domain seal. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He opened his eyes wide and said in disbelief, "The new martial soul's light door is embedded with 2 divine ability doors. It combines the abilities of 2 martial soul's light door." Originally, the sealed door could only seal a single target. Now, under the effect of the new martial soul's light door, it could seal an area. This increase in power was not as simple as 1 + 1. The new martial soul's light door's martial soul's light door is indeed not to be underestimated. Knowing the function of the new martial spirit divine ability, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with excitement. He said in surprise, "Since the new martial spirit divine ability is a combination of 2 martial spirit divine abilities, let's call it the combination gate. Combination divine ability arts light doors light doors light doors light doors light doors light door. Lights light doors door art arts light. Of the divines light divine door." Could it be that the combination door's light door can only be used once? Seeing this, Mo Qingyun wanted to vomit blood. His mood became gloomy. If they knew this would happen, they would have thought about it carefully. They wouldn't have been in a hurry to embed the sealed door and the domain door. Mo Qingyun was gloomy for a short while. He stopped thinking about it and comforted himself, "Forget it. Increasing the power of the sealed door and the domain door is a good gain." After familiarizing himself with the new martial soul's light door's light door, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time. He began to cultivate and stabilize his current cultivation level. to prevent his cultivation level from rising too quickly and destabilizing his foundation, Mo Qingyun didn't continue to break through his cultivation level. He decided to settle down for a while and stabilize his foundation. It wouldn't be too late to continue breaking through his cultivation level. Next, Mo Qingyun refined the immortal stones and purified the immortal spiritual force in his body. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. After 10 days of cultivation, Mo Qingyun's cultivation level finally stabilized. Seeing that his cultivation level had stabilized, Mo Qingyun prepared to break through his cultivation level. Master, we've reached the Myriad Treasures tribe. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to cultivate, Yen Tao's words entered his mind. Hearing Yen Tao's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He was pleasantly surprised and said, "Since we've reached the Myriad Treasures tribe, we won't continue cultivating. With my current strength, I should be able to fight against constellation experts without using the fusion door." Sensing the increase in his strength, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was very satisfied with the gains from this cultivation. Just as Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised, waves of spiritual force fluctuations from a cultivation level breakthrough spread out from the 5-directional small pagoda. It seems that everyone has gained a lot during this time. Sensing the spiritual force fluctuations in the 5-directional small pagoda, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. He checked on the cultivation progress of Mo Zai and the others. Observing the cultivation progress of Mo Zai and the others, Mo Qingyun didn't disturb them. He just sensed from a distance. At present, the one who cultivated the fastest was Mo Zai, who cultivated in the same way as Qi Lian. She was now at the middle stage of the large star realm. Then it was Murong Qinyu, He Xian, Savage Beast, and Iron Wing, who had all reached the peak of the small star realm. Next were Mo and Xia, who had reached the small star realm and the immortal infant realm respectively. Seeing everyone's cultivation progress, Mo Qingyun's smile became wider. He was very satisfied with this situation. It seemed that it wouldn't take long for everyone to reach the half-step golden immortal realm. At that time, they could be independent. After knowing the cultivation progress of He Xian and the others, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and left the 5-directional small pagoda. "Let's go. Take me to the Myriad Treasures tribe." Coming to Yen Tao's side, Mo Qingyun ordered him to continue leading the way. After receiving Mo Qingyun's order, Yen Tao didn't dare to hesitate. He immediately led the way for Mo Qingyun and said, "Master, the territory of the Myriad Treasures tribe is too vast. Now we'll go to the territory of the Snow Ridge tribe, Xuedwa City." Okay. After hearing Yen Tao's report, Mo Qingyun didn't object. He nodded and agreed with him. It was good to go to Xuedwa City to rest. It could let him know more about the Myriad Treasures tribe and avoid entering the Myriad Treasures tribe and causing some unnecessary trouble. Although the Snow Ridge tribe was only a relatively weak tribe in the Myriad Treasures tribe, but when Mo Qingyun entered, he was still shocked by the strength of the Snow Ridge tribe. After walking for a while, Mo Qingyun found dozens of constellation experts in the Snow Ridge tribe and several half-step golden immortal realm experts. From this point, it could be seen that the overall combat strength of the Snow Ridge tribe was probably several times that of the Eternal South Immortal Palace. It seems that I've underestimated the strength of Xian Shao. From the strength of the Snow Ridge tribe, Mo Qingyun had a clearer understanding of the strength of Xian Shao. A force without a golden immortal of the great all-embracing heaven had such terrifying strength. One could imagine how powerful a golden immortal of the great all-embracing heaven was. Chapter 15:11. Yen Tao's status in the Snow Ridge was not bad. He was the grandson of an elder. Unfortunately, Yen Tao's mother's status was ordinary. She came from a small family. Therefore, even though Yen Tao's talent was very good, He was not heavily nurtured by the Yen clan. "Master, this is my residence," said Lin Feng. Yen Tao brought Emo Qingyun along and walked for a while before arriving in front of his residence. He made a gesture of invitation. Emo Qingyun nodded and walked into the residence with Yen Tao. The residence was not luxurious, but it was very quiet. Emo Qingyun was quite satisfied with it. After everyone entered the mansion, Yen Tao's subordinates all withdrew. "Master, you rest here first. I will go and find out about the map of the 9 Immortal Mountain Range." After sending Emo Qingyun to a small courtyard, Yen Tao left the courtyard and went to find information for Emo Qingyun. Seeing Yen Tao's performance, Emo Qingyun nodded in satisfaction and casually walked into a room. After Emo Qingyun entered the room, he did not delay any longer and immediately entered the 5-directional small pagoda to cultivate. To prevent Yen Tao from coming to find him while cultivating, Emo Qingyun left Emo in the room to deal with any unexpected situations. In the blink of an eye, several hours had passed. A few hours have already passed. Yen Tao went to scout for information. Logically speaking, he should be back by now. Seeing that Yen Tao had not returned for a long time, Emo Qingyun was puzzled. Just as Emo Qingyun was puzzled, a series of hurried footsteps came from outside his room. "Master, young Master Yen Tao is in trouble. Please go and help him." Following the footsteps, an anxious voice came from outside Emo Qingyun's room. Hearing this person's words, Emo Qingyun frowned. He knew why Yen Tao had not returned for a long time. After learning about Yen Tao's situation, Emo Qingyun did not want to waste any time and immediately swapped identities with Emo. "Let's go. Take me to see him." Emo Qingyun walked out of the room and ordered the person to lead the way. Hearing Emo Qingyun's order, the person did not dare hesitate and immediately led Emo Qingyun to find Yen Tao. Not long after, Emo Qingyun saw Yen Tao in the crowd ahead under the guidance of this person. "Mr. Emo." Seeing Emo Qingyun walking towards him, Yen Tao showed a respectful expression and hurried to Emo Qingyun's side. In order to prevent any unnecessary trouble, Emo Qingyun had instructed Yen Tao and the others to address him as Mr. Emo. "What's going on?" Looking at Yen Tao, Emo Qingyun had a solemn expression on his face as he asked him about the cause of the incident. "It's like this. Yen Yun has always been weaker than me. Now that he has broken through to the constellation realm, he came to provoke me." After explaining the situation to Emo Qingyun, Yen Tao revealed an awkward expression and said, "Also, Yen Yun and I both like the same girl. She needs a snow cloud lotus. Yen Yun wants to make a bet with me. Whoever gets the snow cloud lotus first will be the winner. The loser will leave Yuanli forever. So that's how it is." Emo Qingyun nodded his head in understanding. He knew the reason for the conflict between the two. Yen Yun must have always been weaker than Yen Tao, so he was jealous of Yen Tao. Now that he had succeeded, he wanted to take the opportunity to suppress Yen Tao. Of course, the most important thing was that Yen Yun wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate Yen Tao. "Yen Tao, is this the helper you found? A super expert in the constellation realm?" Looking at Yen Tao and Emo Qingyun talking, Yen Yun glanced at Emo Qingyun and said with disdain, "If your helper enters the Snow Cloud Valley, won't he scare the 2-peak constellation Profound Ice Devil Dragons to death? Ha! Young Master Yen Yun is wise, ha. In my opinion, Yen Tao is purposely using this kid as a scapegoat to save face. There will be a good show to watch later. When this kid sees the Profound Ice Devil Dragons, he might wet his pants." Yen Yun's followers all mocked Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun chose to ignore the surrounding people. He didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with him and said, "The snow cloud lotus is there. I'll help you pick it now." To Emo Qingyun, it's just 2-peak constellation realm demonic beasts guarding it. It's not too troublesome to deal with them. Really? Yen Tao's expression was filled with joy as he was deeply moved. Yen Yun didn't know Emo Qingyun's strength, but he knew it very well. He could even defeat a half-step golden immortal stage expert. If Emo Qingyun was willing to help, it would be easy for him to obtain the Snow Cloud Lotus. Following that, Yen Tao's face was filled with joy as he led the way for Emo Qingyun. Boasting shamelessly. I want to see how you guys are going to pick the Snow Cloud Lotus. Seeing the actions of Emo Qingyun and the others, Yen Yun didn't stop Yen Tao and followed behind with a cold snort. Following behind Emo Qingyun and the others, Yen Yun revealed a sinister smile and instructed the person beside him. Go and inform Miss Yuan Li immediately. Tell her that Yen Tao is going to pick the Snow Cloud Lotus for her. Yes. Hearing Yen Yun's instructions, the person didn't dare hesitate and immediately went to inform Miss Yuan Li. Yen Tao, when Miss Yuan Li comes, you'll have to pick it even if you don't want to. After instructing the person to inform Miss Yuan Li, Yen Yun revealed a sinister smile and muttered to himself, if you can't pick it, let's see if you still have the face to continue harassing Miss Yuan Li. If Yen Tao and the others die under the claws of the two mysterious Icefrost Devil Dragons when they are picking the Snow Cloud Lotus, that would be fun. The more Yen Yun thought about it, the more pleased he was. It was as if his evil plan had succeeded. From Yen Yun's point of view, if Yen Tao didn't fail to pick the Snow Cloud Lotus and be despised by Yuan Li, he would die under the claws of the mysterious Icefrost Devil Dragons. Anyway, no matter what the situation was, it was extremely beneficial to him. Emo Qingyun and the others didn't know about Yen Yun's thoughts. They were rushing towards the Snow Cloud Valley at full speed. The Snow Cloud Valley wasn't very far from the Snow Ridge faction's residence. After about 15 minutes, a snow-white valley appeared in front of Emo Qingyun and the others. This was the Snow Cloud Valley. As they walked into the Snow Cloud Valley, Emo Qingyun felt an ice-cold chill assaulting him. Feeling the chill in the valley, Yen Yun revealed a complacent sneer. He looked at Emo Qingyun, who was beside Yen Tao, and said, Yen Tao, the chill in the Snow Cloud Valley is something that even a minor Star Realm expert can't withstand. This brat only has the cultivation of the profound Star Realm. He can't even withstand the chill and can't even enter the Snow Cloud Valley. Emo Qingyun ignored Yen Yun's ridicule and walked into the Snow Cloud Valley with an indifferent expression. Chapter 15:12. As they went deeper into the Snow Cloud Valley, some of the weaker cultivators started to shiver. Looking at their reactions, it seemed like they were unable to withstand the chill in the valley. Gradually, some of the weaker cultivators retreated out of the valley helplessly. What surprised them was that Emo Qingyun, who had the lowest cultivation among them, was still going deep into the valley with an indifferent expression. Seeing this situation, everyone had a whole new level of respect for Emo Qingyun and had a trace of ridicule towards Yen Yun. Didn't you say that Emo Qingyun couldn't enter the Snow Cloud Valley? Didn't he enter the Snow Cloud Valley now? After about 15 minutes, Emo Qingyun and the rest didn't stop and they came to the inner part of the Snow Cloud Valley. That kid is only in the profound Star Realm. How can he ignore the chill in the Snow Cloud Valley? Seeing that it was difficult for him to withstand the chill, but Emo Qingyun looked relaxed, Yen Yun was puzzled. Emo Qingyun's current performance was beyond his expectations. Mr. Emo, the serene jade cold pond is in front. The Snow Cloud Lotus grows in the serene jade cold pond. Coming to the inner part of the Snow Cloud Valley, Yen Tao pointed forward and continued to lead the way for Emo Qingyun. Puff 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 puff. When Emo Qingyun and the rest were about to hurry, a series of hurried footsteps came from behind them. Yen Tao, wait up! Behind the sound of footsteps, a clear voice rang out. Hearing this clear voice, Yen Tao and Yen Yun's bodies shook as they turned their heads with an excited expression. Seeing the duo's reaction, Emo Qingyun was also curious and turned his head to look behind. He saw a beautiful lady walking at the front of a group of people, walking quickly towards Yen Tao. Yuan Li! Miss Yuan Li! Seeing the lady approaching, Yen Tao and Yen Yun were excited and went up to the lady. Seeing the lady walking towards Yuan Li, Yen Tao and Yen Yun's face darkened, and they felt a strong hostility towards her. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but shake his head, feeling both amused and helpless. However, from Yuan Li's reaction, she seemed to have some feelings for Yen Tao. Many thanks to young Master Yen Yun for sending me a message. Yuan Li walked in front of Yen Yun and politely thanked him, then asked Yen Tao with concern. Yen Tao, are you crazy? Don't you know that there are 2 mysterious ice devil flood dragons at the pinnacle of the constellations in the serene jade icy pool? You're still going to pick the snow cloud lotus? It's just 2 dark frost devil flood dragons at the peak of the constellation level. Now that Mr. Mo is helping, there won't be any problems. Hearing Yuan Li's concern and scolding, Yen Tao showed a happy expression and responded to her indifferently. While Yen Tao was speaking, he also pointed at Mo Qingyun and introduced Mo Qingyun to Yuan Li, him, early stage of the profound star level. Discovering Mo Qingyun's cultivation, Yuan Li's eyes immediately widened and she felt that her brain wasn't enough to process it. This was a mysterious ice devil flood dragon at the peak of the constellation level. Mo Qingyun was only at the profound star level. Could he really deal with it? Yuan Li clearly didn't believe that Mo Qingyun really had the ability to do so. Yen Tao, although your servant's cultivation is low, you can't treat his life as a joke. With a simple glance at Mo Qingyun, Yuan Li instinctively thought that Mo Qingyun was one of Yen Tao's subordinates. Now that Mo Qingyun went to pick the snow cloud lotus, he probably received Yen Tao's orders and didn't dare to show the slightest dissatisfaction. Servant? Hearing Yuan Li's words, Yen Tao was about to cry. He felt extremely wrong. Servant my ass. He was Mo Qingyun's servant, okay? He was the one who was wronged, okay? Who was he supposed to find to reason with? Looking at Yen Tao, who wanted to cry but had no tears, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled and explained, Miss, you've misunderstood. I'm not Yen Tao's servant. Although my cultivation isn't very high, I can still deal with 2 peak constellation level mysterious ice devil flood dragons. Really? Yuan Li's eyes widened. She had some doubts about Mo Qingyun's words. Mo Qingyun didn't explain to Yuan Li's doubts. There was no need to explain. Brat, what kind of attitude is this? Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude towards Yuan Li, Yen Yun's face immediately sank. He angrily shouted at Mo Qingyun, then smiled at Yuan Li and said, Miss Yuan Li, this brat doesn't accept your good intentions. You don't need to care about his life or death. Wait until he suffers, then he'll understand your good intentions. Yen Tao, lead the way. It was rare for Mo Qingyun to pay attention to Yen Yun. It was as if he was directly ignoring him. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yen Tao didn't dare to hesitate in the slightest and led the way for Mo Qingyun in front. Could it be that he really has this ability? Seeing Mo Qingyun and Yen Tao's behavior, Yuan Li's beautiful brows tightly knitted together. Intense puzzlement arose in her heart. From Yen Tao's attitude towards Mo Qingyun, she could tell that Mo Qingyun was absolutely not Yen Tao's servant. On the contrary, looking at Yen Tao's attitude towards Mo Qingyun, it seemed to be somewhat respectful and fearful. These scenes were all too abnormal, causing Yuan Li to feel puzzled even after pondering 100 times. Following this, Yuan Li harbored a curious mentality and followed behind Mo Qingyun and the others. Humph! Brat, I'll see how long you can be proud of yourself. Seeing Mo Qingyun's behavior, Yen Yun's gaze towards Mo Qingyun immediately became gloomy and cold. At this moment, his dislike and disgust towards Mo Qingyun had already been equated with Yen Tao's. If it weren't for Yen Tao and Yuan Li, he would have already attacked Mo Qingyun and killed Mo Qingyun on the spot. After a while, the group arrived in front of the serene jade icy pond and looked at the pond with lotus leaves and lotuses growing on it. Mr. Mo, The water in the serene jade icy pond is extremely cold. Even an elite of the golden celestial stage can easily touch it. Standing at the edge of the serene jade icy pond, Yen Tao's expression was grave as he reminded Mo Qingyun. Then he said, "Later, when you attack the dark ice devil snake, you must be careful of the pond water that it spits out." "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded and glanced at the surface of the serene jade icy pond. Then he flew towards the sky above the serene jade icy pond. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone's expression immediately became grave and they all broke out in cold sweat for Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was playing with fire. Roar, roar. Mo Qingyun came to the sky above the serene jade icy pond. Then, two huge figures that were 1,000 meters long flew out from the serene jade icy pond. As soon as the two huge figures appeared, they emitted a cold aura and drilled into Mo Qingyun's body. So strong. Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. He didn't expect the dark ice devil snake's aura to be so cold. Then, Mo Qingyun activated the roaring flame shield to resist the cold attack of the dark ice devil snake. Seeing these two huge figures, everyone's expression was shocked, and they revealed a strong sense of reverence. Chapter 15-13. Demonic Traceless Shadow. Lightning Wind Path. Facing two dark icefrost dragons at the pinnacle of the constellation realm, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless. He immediately increased his speed to the maximum. Mo Qingyun dodged the attacks of the two dark icefrost dragons with ease. Combination Gate. After dodging the attacks of the two dark icefrost dragons, Mo Qingyun immediately used the combination gate to seal the fighting strength of the two dark icefrost dragons. Soon, a light gate with two grooves appeared above Mo Qingyun. When Mo Qingyun used the combination gate, it emitted a sealing power that enveloped half of the serene jade frosty pond. Boom boom, under the suppression of the sealing power, the two dark icefrost dragons felt as if they were hit by a heavy hammer. Two muffled sounds came from their bodies. Then, the two dark icefrost dragons paused and screamed in succession. Then, the two dark icefrost dragons spat out blood from their huge mouths, dyeing the water of the serene jade frosty pond red. At the same time, the aura of the two dark icefrost dragons began to fall rapidly. In a short while, the cultivation of the two dark icefrost dragons fell from the pinnacle of the constellation realm to the pinnacle of the major constellation realm. The pinnacle of the major constellation realm. Sensing the change in the mysterious icefrost devil serpent's aura, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He thought to himself, it seems that the combination gate has expanded the range of the sealed gate, but the strength of the seal hasn't changed. After fighting with the two dark icefrost dragons, Mo Qingyun had a clearer understanding of the power of the combination gate. It's much easier to deal with them if they're only at the pinnacle of the major constellation realm. Seeing the weakening of the dark icefrost dragons, Mo Qingyun's smile deepened. He raised his hand and took out the scarlet meteorite battle halberd. Heaven Fire Sky-Breaking Halberd. After taking out the scarlet meteorite battle halberd, Mo Qingyun swung the halberd at one of the dark icefrost dragons without hesitation. Mo Qingyun waved the scarlet meteorite battle halberd, immediately drawing out a half-moon halberd shadow, blasting out a tidal wave of immortal spiritual energy. Immortal spiritual energy shot out from the scarlet meteorite battle halberd like a volcanic eruption, transforming into a 1,000-meter-long fire dragon halberd light. Soon, the crowd saw two huge dragons, one red and one black, colliding above the serene jade icy pool. Bang! When the two dragons collided, a loud sound immediately rang out, causing the ground to shake. Immediately after, the crowd saw that the dark ice demonic snake was being pushed back by the fire dragon halberd light. Seeing such a scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Even Yen Tao was no exception. Yen Tao was certain that the last time Mo Qingyun fought with him, he was definitely not this powerful. The last time Mo Qingyun had fought him, he had used a powerful secret technique that caused his cultivation to skyrocket. Only then did he barely manage to defeat Mo Qingyun. Now, facing the dark ice demonic snake, who was at the peak of the constellation realm, Mo Qingyun did not use that secret technique, but still managed to push the dark ice demonic snake back. The gap between the two was too obvious. One must know that Yen Tao was only at the peak of the major constellation realm. The gap between him and the dark ice demonic snake, who was at the peak of the constellation realm, was huge. Compared to a few days ago, Master's strength is at least several times stronger. It seems that Master must have had a huge breakthrough during this period of time. Yen Tao was shocked. He immediately saw that Mo Qingyun was different from a few days ago. Yen Tao continued, with Master's terrifying talent, his future achievements will definitely be extraordinary. No wonder he dares to go against a perfected golden immortal powerhouse. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's position in Yen Tao's heart was almost equal to that of a perfected golden immortal powerhouse. In Yen Tao's opinion, although Mo Qingyun's current cultivation was still low, given enough time, he might be able to break through to the perfected golden immortal realm. He actually defeated the dark ice demonic snake, who was at the peak of the constellation realm. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Yuanli was so frightened that her delicate body trembled. Her expression was filled with disbelief as she exclaimed, "Who is he? How did Yen Tao get to know him?" At this moment, Yuanli had a strong curiosity about Mo Qingyun's identity. Compared to Yen Tao and Yuanli's shock, Yen Yun and the rest were only afraid. They were scared out of their wits. No, impossible. This must be an illusion. How can someone at the star realm have such terrifying battle prowess? Where did this kid come from? How did Yen Tao get to know such a freak? Yen Yun and the rest were shocked. They couldn't accept this fact. Under the shocked gazes of Yen Yun and the rest, Mo Qingyun and the dark ice demonic snake exchanged a few more rounds. As time passed, the dark ice demonic snake that was caught off guard by Mo Qingyun's attacks gradually adapted to Mo Qingyun's attack. It seems that I can't kill someone at the peak of the major constellation realm just by using the strength of the star realm. After fighting a few more rounds with the profound ice demonic flood dragon, Mo Qingyun gained a better understanding of his own strength. He said, "In that case, there is no need to continue fighting." Bloodline suppression. Mo Qingyun roared angrily as a terrifying bloodline power erupted from his body. Now that they were in the god race's territory, Mo Qingyun no longer had to worry about the consequences of activating his bloodline. Under Mo Qingyun's bloodline ability, the area of 1,000 meters around him was instantly covered by a layer of bloody mist. Under this bloody mist, the circulation of the dark ice demonic snake's bloodline was greatly suppressed again. In addition, under Mo Qingyun's bloodline suppression, Yen Tao and the others were also affected. His bloodline is so strong. It's at least in the top 20 of the 10,000 ancient races. Sensing Mo Qingyun's bloodline power, Yuanli's eyes shook as she looked at Mo Qingyun with reverence. The Myriad Treasures race was ranked in the top 50 of the 10,000 ancient races and had an extremely powerful bloodline. But now, under Mo Qingyun's bloodline suppression, there was a great pressure that made them feel great pain. From this, it could be seen that Mo Qingyun's bloodline was clearly much stronger than the Myriad Treasures race. From the current situation, a powerful race that could do this was at least in the top 20 of the 10,000 ancient races. Under the bloodline suppression, the dark ice demonic snake's strength was weakened again and fell into a state of being suppressed again. Roar roar. The two dark ice demonic snakes were smart. Seeing that the situation was bad, they immediately fled back into the serene jade frosty pool. Seeing the two dark ice demonic snakes' actions, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He didn't expect them to flee so decisively. "You ran fast." Seeing the dark ice demonic snakes flee, Mo Qingyun didn't kill them. His goal in dealing with the dark ice demonic snakes was to test their strength and abilities, and to chase them away so that he could pluck a snow cloud lotus. Now that he had achieved his goal, there was no need to kill them. There was no harm in sparing them. Chapter 15-14. Take it. Emo Qingyun came before Yen Tao, took out the snow cloud lotus and handed it over to Yen Tao. Seeing Emo Qingyun handing over the snow cloud lotus, Yen Tao was overjoyed. He was extremely excited. In this way, the bet between him and Yen Yun ended with him winning. Yen Yun, remember our bet. Yen Tao waved the snow cloud lotus in his hand, indirectly reminding Yen Yun to stay away from Yuanli. Seeing Yen Tao's performance, Yen Yun's face was as dark as ink. He looked at Emo Qingyun and shouted angrily, "Yen Tao, it's a small world. Don't be too happy." As soon as Yen Yun finished speaking, he brought his followers and left the snow cloud valley dejectedly. While Yen Yun and Yen Tao were talking, Yuanli looked at Emo Qingyun curiously. She was curious about Emo Qingyun's background. Thinking about Emo Qingyun's actions, Yuanli could vaguely guess that Emo Qingyun did not want to interact with her. Otherwise, when Emo Qingyun obtained the snow cloud lotus, he would not have handed it over to Yen Tao. Instead, he would have directly handed it over to her. "Yuanli, the snow cloud lotus is already in my hands. Take it." Seeing Yen Yun and the rest leave, Yen Tao retracted his gaze and handed the snow cloud lotus to Yuanli. Looking at the snow cloud lotus that Yen Tao handed over, Yuanli was pleasantly surprised. She smiled sweetly at Yen Tao and said, "Yen Tao, thank you." Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, while everyone was talking, the snow cloud valley suddenly shook. Seeing such a situation, everyone was shocked and looked towards the depths of the snow cloud valley. They could feel that the source of the commotion was the deepest part of the snow cloud valley. Rumor has it that there is a group of golden immortal stage demonic beasts living in the deepest part of the snow cloud valley. It seems to be true. Who is it that provoked the group of golden immortal stage demonic beasts? If I'm not wrong, the person who provoked the group of golden immortal stage demonic beasts is most likely the charming young master. Charming young master? The charming young master who came to the snow ridge half a month ago? After some discussion, everyone gradually guessed the culprit. Whoosh, 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 while everyone was discussing in shock, streaks of light streaked across the sky and flew past them. At the forefront of these streams of light was a young man dressed in white. He was standing on a green longsword and flying in the air. This man's appearance was extremely delicate and pretty. His skin was so white that it was enough to make women jealous. He was an extremely rare handsome man. Behind this man there were two old figures. Their auras were as strong as the man's. They were all golden celestial stage powerhouses. As for behind the three of them, there were 6 ferocious-looking monstrous beasts furiously chasing after the three of them. It really is charming young master. The hemp-clothed old man behind Charming Prince is the Qin clan's patriarch, Senior Qin Xuani. The person next to Senior Qin Xuani is Senior Zhou Qingbin of the Zhou clan. That's right. The two of them were recruited by the charming young master a few days ago. When everyone saw the 3 people in the sky, their faces were filled with shock as they recognized the 3 people. At the same time, they were extremely shocked that charming young master and the other 2 had really provoked a group of monstrous beasts. This charming young master, his appearance, while everyone was shocked, Emo Qingyun saw that the charming young master also had a shocked expression. This charming young master's appearance was exactly the same as Long Hanyan and Murong Qinyu. The only difference was that one of them was a man and the other 2 were women. Could it be that Han Yen and Qingyu's original bodies have male doppelgangers? When Emo Qingyun thought of this possibility, his head suddenly felt dizzy. He was somewhat unable to accept this result. Seeing Emo Qingyun's abnormal behavior, Yen Tao, who was next to him, was puzzled. He did not understand why Emo Qingyun would have such a reaction. In his impression, Emo Qingyun was not even afraid of a golden celestial of the great all-embracing heaven. He should not have such a reaction. "Mr. Emo, what's wrong with you?" Yen Tao could not help but ask. "It's nothing. That man just now looked very similar to a friend of mine." Hearing Yen Tao's question, Emo Qingyun gave a simple explanation. "Are you talking about the charming young master?" Seeing Emo Qingyun talking about the charming young master, Yuan Li's face was filled with excitement. Her eyes flashed with infatuation. Seeing Yuan Li's reaction, Emo Qingyun could not help but shake his head. He felt sad for Yen Tao and Yen Yun. These two guys were fighting to the death. It turned out that the one Yuan Li was truly infatuated with was an unrelated charming young master. But then again, that charming young master who looked like Long Han Yen was indeed extraordinarily handsome. "Can you tell me more about this charming young master?" Seeing that Yuan Li knew about the charming young master, Emo Qingyun's face was filled with curiosity and anticipation. His tone was urgent as he asked Yuan Li. Seeing Emo Qingyun's reaction, Yuan Li did not decline. She immediately explained to Emo Qingyun. About a month ago, the charming young master came to the Snow Ridge mountain range to inquire about the whereabouts of the black ice crystal. Then, he promised a huge reward and recruited a few powerhouses of the Golden Celestial stage to enter the deepest part of the Snow Ridge mountain range with him to search for the black ice crystal. Yuan Li told Emo Qingyun everything she knew without missing a word. "Thank you very much." After hearing Yuan Li's explanation, Emo Qingyun thanked her and said, "I'll go and take a look. You guys can go back by yourselves." The teleportation portal. After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he pointed in front of him. Soon, a whirlpool-like teleportation portal formed rapidly in front of him. Seeing that the teleportation portal had formed, Emo Qingyun lifted his leg and stepped into it. His figure instantly disappeared before everyone's eyes. He disappeared. Seeing that Emo Qingyun's figure had disappeared, Yen Tao and the others widened their eyes. They were stunned by Emo Qingyun's performance. This kind of method was beyond their understanding. Yen Tao, who is this Mr. Emo?" Seeing that Emo Qingyun had used the teleportation portal, Yuan Li could no longer suppress her curiosity and immediately asked Yen Tao. After hearing Yuan Li's question, Yen Tao hesitated for a moment and said, "Mr. Emo is actually my master." "Master?" Yuan Li's head was dizzy. Even if she had racked her brains, she would not have thought of this situation. Previously, she had actually said that Emo Qingyun was Yen Tao's servant. This was simply too wrong. "Since he's your master, you should know him very well, right?" Yuan Li could not help but ask again. "I can only tell you that my master is a super genius of the Heavenly Soul Demon tribe." After hearing Yuan Li's question again, Yen Tao's expression was solemn. Then, he said sternly, "As for other things, don't ask too much. It won't do you any good." Heavenly Soul Demon tribe. Yuan Li's expression was shocked. She was very shocked by Emo Qingyun's background and did not dare to ask any more questions. She knew that if it was not so important, Yen Tao would definitely tell her. "Let's go." Chapter 15:15. Whoosh! After exiting the teleportation portal, Emo Qingyun was already 10,000 miles away, catching up to the charming prince and the others. "I've caught up." Seeing the charming prince and the others in the distance, Emo Qingyun's figure did not stop as he continued to chase after them. Traceless demon shadow. Thunderous wind. Raising his speed to the maximum, Emo Qingyun's flying speed was barely the same as the charming prince's. Just like that, the group continued to fly at such a high speed for a few days before coming to an end. After a few days, the 6 ferocious-looking demonic beasts returned unwillingly when they saw that they were unable to catch up to the charming prince and the others. That was close. These guys are really stubborn. They actually chased us for over 1,000,000 miles. Seeing the 6 demonic beasts return, the charming prince and a plump old man exclaimed with lingering fear. After lamenting for a while, the old man took out a qianquan bag and handed it to the charming prince. Charming prince, this is the reward you gave me. I'll return it to you as it is. I can't do this job of yours. After the old man finished speaking, he turned around and left, leaving the charming prince and the plump old man looking at each other. Old man Qin, you can't be like old man Zhou and quit halfway. Seeing the old man leave, the charming prince frowned and tried to persuade the other old man. Old Qin's expression turned solemn when he heard the charming young master's words. With a righteous expression, he said, I still have my principles. Since I've agreed to help charming young master, I naturally won't go back on my word. Thank you, old Qin. After hearing old Qin's reply, the charming prince's expression relaxed as the worry in his heart eased significantly. If old Qin were to quit as well, he would have to find another helper. It was not easy to find a golden immortal helper. Which scoundrel are you? Come out at once. Stop hiding. Mo Qinyun had just approached the two of them when he was discovered by Old Man Qin. Old Man Qin attacked him with a finger. Facing Old Qin's finger, Mo Qinyun's figure immediately flashed and dodged Old Qin's attack by a hair's breadth. Mo Qinyun dodged Old Man Qin's attack, and his figure also appeared in the vision of the charming young master and the young master. A young man in the profound star realm. Was he the one who chased after us? Seeing Mo Qinyun's figure appear, the charming young master frowned. Clearly, he had already discovered that Mo Qinyun was following him. When Old Man Qin learned of Mo Qinyun's cultivation base, he was also shocked. A mere profound star-level junior was actually able to dodge my attack. This kid is not simple. Perhaps it was because Mo Qinyun's performance had won their respect, causing them to not attack Mo Qinyun again. Why did you chase after us? What's the matter? Looking at the handsome young man in front of him, the charming young man looked quite curious and asked about Mo Qinyun's intentions. Hearing the charming young master's words, Mo Qinyun couldn't help but reveal an embarrassed smile. His expression became a bit awkward as he said, This. I actually chased after you because you look like a friend of mine. Because the charming young master was a man, Mo Qinyun didn't dare to say that he looked like Long Hanyan and Old Man Qin. In Mo Qinyun's view, rashly saying that a man looked like a woman was a kind of disrespect to him. Especially when the other party was a golden immortal expert. If the other party misinterpreted his meaning, it might cause him to be angry and chase after him. This wasn't the situation that Mo Qinyun wanted to see. The charming young master's expression was a bit startled. With a curious expression, he said in a joking tone, Tell me, who is your friend? Since he looks like me, could he be my long-lost brother? In his life, this was the first time that someone had chased after him and said that he looked like a friend of his. Long-lost brother? This time, it was Mo Qinyun's turn to be startled. He didn't know how to answer such a question. Long Hanyan and Murong Qinyu were both women. Could it be that he really had to say that the charming young master looked like a woman? Brat, you hummed and hawed for a long time and didn't speak. Could it be that what you said just now was nonsense? Seeing that Mo Qinyun didn't respond for a long time, Old Man Qin revealed a displeased expression. He angrily shouted at Mo Qinyun and said, This old man will give you 3 breaths of time. If you can't give a reasonable explanation, see how this old man will be impolite to you. As Old Man Qin spoke, he released the aura of a golden immortal and pressed it towards Mo Qinyun. Hearing Old Man Qin's words, the charming young master's expression also became unsightly. Obviously, because of Old Man Qin's words, he also had some doubts about Mo Qinyun's words. Seeing the two people's expressions, Mo Qinyun helplessly shook his head and said, Charming young master, I hope you can remain calm when you see my friend. The charming young master and Long Han looked very similar. Mo Qingyun felt that there should be some kind of secret relationship between the charming young master and Long Han. Therefore, unless there was no other choice, Mo Qingyun didn't want to make a move against him. Moreover, in order to clarify the doubts in his heart, Mo Qingyun had to let Murong Qinyu meet the charming young master. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the charming young master slightly frowned. He didn't understand Mo Qingyun's words. Okay. Although he didn't understand Mo Qingyun's meaning, the charming young master still nodded his head. Seeing the charming young master's action, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and moved Murong Qinyu out of the 5 directions small pagoda. Qingyun, why did you call me out? Coming out of the 5 directions small pagoda, Murong Qinyu had a puzzled expression and asked Mo Qingyun. Without waiting for Murong Qinyu to finish her words, she was stunned on the spot. She looked at the charming young master with a shocked expression. The man in front of her looked exactly the same as her. This feeling was too strange. She really looks exactly the same as me. Seeing Murong Qinyu in front of him, the charming young master was also stunned. He felt that his brain wasn't enough. This situation was too unexpected. This old man Qin was also dumbfounded. He was confused by this scene. Originally, he thought that Mo Qingyun's words were nonsense. He didn't expect it to be true. Originally, what he said was true. After verifying that what Mo Qingyun said was true, the charming young master looked at Mo Qingyun with a kind gaze. However, he didn't want to admit that he had any relationship with Murong Qinyu. He said with an indifferent tone, "Wasteland continent is so big. It's not strange for there to be a few people who look like you." The charming young master simply evaded with a sentence to clear up his relationship with Murong Qinyu. He expressed that there was no relationship between him and Murong Qinyu. However, people with discerning eyes could see that the charming young master's tone was somewhat guilty. Clearly, he didn't dare to confirm his words. Chapter 15-16. I also think that Han Yen and I have nothing to do with him. Hearing the charming young master's words, Murong Qinyu responded, not to be outdone. She showed a competitive appearance. Seeing Murong Qingyu's action, the charming young master's expression turned cold. He said indifferently, "You talk to me like this, aren't you afraid that I will kill you? With Qingyun here, I don't believe that you can touch me." Facing the charming young master's strong attitude, Murong Qinyu stared without showing any weakness with her beautiful eyes. She didn't show any cowardice. At this moment, Murong Qingyu's action showed her endless trust in Mo Qingyun. She firmly believed that no matter how strong the other party was, Mo Qingyun would protect her and wouldn't let her suffer any harm. "You?" Hearing Murong Qingyu's words, the charming young master's expression changed slightly. He looked at Mo Qingyun with surprise. He was very puzzled. Mo Qingyun was only at the profound star realm. Why would Murong Qinyu trust him so much? Even if Mo Qingyun's flying speed was very fast, it was limited to his body movement. Even if Mo Qingyun's body movement was better, when facing a golden immortal realm expert, he might be killed in an instant if he wasn't careful. Not to mention that Mo Qingyun was facing 2 golden immortal realm experts and still had to protect a person at the minor star realm. "Don't worry, I'm here. Nothing will happen." Hearing Murong Qingyu's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at her. He comforted her and said, "I'll send you back to the 5 directions small pagoda first. Leave everything else to me." "Okay." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Murong Qinyu didn't continue to stay. Her figure flashed and returned to the 5 directions small pagoda. She also knew that in the current situation, if she stayed, she would only cause trouble for Mo Qingyun. After sending Murong Qinyu back to the 5 directions small pagoda, Mo Qingyun began to change the topic, diverting the attention of the charming young master and the charming young master. he said, "I heard that you went to the deepest part of the Snow Cloud Valley to find the mysterious Ice Mother. Those 6 golden immortal realm demon beasts should be the demon beasts guarding the mysterious Ice Mother." Not bad. The charming young master did not hide anything from Emo Qingyun's inquiry. He revealed a puzzled expression and asked in return, "This doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? If you don't have anything else to say, you should leave. I don't have the time to get close to you." Judging from the charming young master's behavior, he looked the same as Emo Qingyun, so he didn't have a good impression of Emo Qingyun. Hearing the charming young master's words, Old Man Qin also revealed an impatient expression. He waved his hand at Emo Qingyun and said, "Brat, before this old man changes his mind, disappear from my sight immediately." Emo Qingyun did not take the actions of the charming young master to heart. He replied with a faint smile, "Perhaps I can help you deal with the 6 golden immortal stage demonic beasts." "You?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the charming prince and Old Man Qin's expressions immediately turned suspicious. A person in the star realm actually said that he could deal with golden immortal stage demonic beasts. Was there anything more boastful than this? However, seeing Emo Qingyun's serious expression, the charming young master unconsciously believed that what Emo Qingyun said might be true. "You don't believe me?" Seeing the charming young master's doubtful expression, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and did not explain further. Combination Gate. A light gate with 2 grooves quickly formed above Emo Qingyun and emitted a terrifying sealing power. Under this sealing power, the charming young master and Old Man Qin were shocked. They looked at Emo Qingyun in disbelief. Under this sealing power, their cultivation base was weakening and was about to fall below the golden immortal stage. They really didn't expect Emo Qingyun to have such a remarkable ability that could seal the cultivation base of the enemy. At this moment, they finally believed Emo Qingyun's words. Emo Qingyun really had such an ability. Seeing the charming young master and Old Man Qin's expressions, Emo Qingyun immediately withdrew the combination gate and said with a faint smile, "Now, you should believe my words, right? I underestimated you. You can really help me." Seeing the power of the combination gate, the charming young master nodded with a faint smile. His attitude toward Emo Qingyun improved a little. He asked with a curious expression, "Tell me, why do you want to help me?" "Just now I wanted to kill your friend." "Because you look like Han Yen and Qinyu." Emo Qingyun gave a simple reply to the charming young master's question and did not explain further. Hearing Emo Qingyun's answer, the charming young master's expression was slightly stunned, and his expression became even more curious. He smiled and said, "You're really interesting. Can you tell me who this Han Yen is? Can you let me meet her for a while? Is she the girl just now?" The charming young master asked several questions in a row. He was very curious about Long Hanyan's identity. If he had not met Emo Qingyun today, he would not have known that there was someone in the world who looked exactly like him. "No, the one you saw just now was Qinyu. In the future, you might have a chance to meet Han Yen." Emo Qingyun shook his head and gave a simple reply to the charming young master. He then said, "Let's go. I will accompany you to hunt those demonic beasts." "Okay." The charming young master nodded and did not continue asking. The curiosity in his eyes was even stronger. The young man in front of him gave him a feeling like a mystery. Suddenly, there was a friend who looked exactly like him in front of him, who had an amazing flying speed and a heaven-defying sealing ability. All of this made Emo Qingyun shrouded in mystery. If I could understand this kid's ability, wouldn't my strength be? While Emo Qingyun and the charming young master were talking, Old Man Qin's eyes flickered and his expression revealed a trace of greed. But due to the charming young master's presence, he did not dare to show it. He only silently plotted in his heart. Next, the 3 of them flew towards the deepest part of the Snow Cloud Valley, each with their own thoughts. Perhaps it was because they wanted to test Emo Qingyun, but when the charming young master and old man Qin flew, they used all their strength. But what surprised them was that Emo Qingyun was still chasing after them. Moreover, he did not show any signs of spiritual energy exhaustion. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, their evaluation of Emo Qingyun immediately increased by several points. This young man was not simple If it was an ordinary person at the star accumulation position, under such high-intensity flight, their spiritual energy would have been exhausted long ago. They did not know that Emo Qingyun possessed the Fortune Mainland. The immortal spiritual energy it contained was so abundant that it could not be judged by common sense. Several days later, Emo Qingyun and the other two flew at full speed and arrived at the Snow Cloud Valley. Now that Emo Qingyun was following them, the charming young master did not have any scruples and directly charged towards the demonic beast's nest. Chapter 15-17. Roar, roar, roar. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes turn red. When the demonic beasts saw that the charming young master had returned, they immediately opened their eyes wide and roared. Then, the 6 demonic beasts flew out of their nests and surrounded Emo Qingyun and the other two. Seeing that the 6 demonic beasts were surrounding them, the charming young master and old Qin's expressions tightened and they could not help but panic. Just now, they were no match for the 6 demonic beasts even when they joined forces with old Zhou. Now that old Zhou was not here to help them, they were even less of a match for the 6 demonic beasts with their combat strength alone. At this moment, the charming young master and old Qin were praying that Emo Qingyun would not make any mistakes. Although they had seen Emo Qingyun's methods, that was only for cultivators. Demonic beasts and cultivators had different physique. Before seeing the effects with their own eyes, they did not dare to say that Mo Qingyun's methods would work on demonic beasts. As they were in a hurry to take revenge and were shocked by Emo Qingyun's methods, the two of them did not think too much about it. Now that they were surrounded by 6 demonic beasts, they could not help but think too much about it. Combination Gate. Just as the charming young master and old Qin were panicking, Emo Qingyun used the combination gate to seal the bloodline and soul of the 6 demonic beasts. Soon, a light gate with 2 grooves formed above Emo Qingyun and the other two, emitting a terrifying sealing force. The combination gate emitted a sealing force and Emo Qingyun controlled it to seal the bloodline and soul of the 6 demonic beasts. Roar, roar, roar. With their bloodline and soul suppressed, the 6 demonic beasts immediately became restless and roared crazily. Then, the cultivation of the 6 demonic beasts began to weaken and fell out of the golden immortal stage in the blink of an eye. Hurry up and do it, because the difference in cultivation is too great. I can't suppress them for long. After using the combination gate to seal the 6 demonic beasts, Emo Qingyun pretended to be strained and urged the charming young master and old Qin. Because the combination gate was too powerful, Emo Qingyun did not want anyone to know about it and could use it without any scruples. The main reason he did this was to create a false impression, to make the charming young master and his companion think that there were harsh conditions to use the combination gate. Kill! Hearing Emo Qingyun's urging, charming prince and old man Qin did not dare to hesitate and immediately attacked the 6 demonic beasts. They didn't know how long Emo Qingyun could seal the 6 demonic beasts. Therefore, the earlier they killed the 6 demonic beasts, the safer everyone would be. Singing while drunk, how long is life? The charming young master walked drunkenly as he swung his long sword in a natural and unrestrained manner, slashing out streaks of golden sword shadows. Upon closer inspection, one would be able to see that there were golden words within the sword images. Those golden words were like the foundation of the formation, increasing the power of the sword shadow by many times. Sizzle, when the sword shadow landed on the demonic beast's body, it released bolts of lightning that attacked the demonic beast's body. Very quickly, the thick scales on the demonic beast's body were bombarded with wounds. What a powerful sword technique! Seeing the charming young master's attack, Emo Qingyun's expression changed as he looked at the charming young master. The Tao that this charming young master has comprehended should be the wine Tao and the literature Tao. He has fused the power of wine and literature into his moves, increasing the power of his moves by many times. Compared to the charming young master's attack, Old Man Qin was much weaker. He had only comprehended the ordinary power of the fire Tao. In addition, Old Man Qin was very wary of these demonic beasts, so he was very cautious when he attacked. Following that, Old Man Qin's attack did not pose much of a threat to the 6 demonic beasts. Seeing such a scene, Emo Qingyun sighed in his heart. This Old Man Qin was too cautious. Although the cultivation of the 6 demonic beasts had all fallen out of the golden immortal realm, their comprehension of the Tao was not affected at all. Therefore, the weakening of the 6 demonic beasts' strength was not particularly frightening. As such, it would not be an easy task for the charming young master and Old Man Qin to kill them. For the 6 demonic beasts to be able to cultivate to the golden immortal realm, they had already gained intelligence and were all cunning old foxes. After fighting with the charming young master and Old Man Qin for a while, they realized that Emo Qingyun was the culprit who had sealed their cultivation. Knowing that Emo Qingyun was the culprit, the 6 demonic beasts did not want to be entangled with the charming young master and Old Man Qin. They wanted to find a chance to kill Emo Qingyun. After a while, one of the demonic beasts retreated from the battle and quickly charged towards Emo Qingyun. Moon in the water, moon in the mirror, moon in the lonely sky. Seeing this demonic beast charging towards Emo Qingyun, the charming young master's expression was shocked. The long sword in his hand turned in the air. The long sword rotated in mid-air and slashed out a full moon sword light, bombarding towards the demonic beast. Facing this sword radiance attack, the demonic beast's forward movement was greatly hindered. After forcing the demonic beast to retreat, the charming young master did not dare to hesitate and immediately came in front of Emo Qingyun. He was very clear that without Emo Qingyun suppressing the demonic beast's cultivation, he had no hope of killing the 6 demonic beasts. Therefore, no matter what, he could not let Emo Qingyun be killed. Follow me closely. Don't be more than 1,000 meters away from me. Coming to Emo Qingyun's side, the charming young master had a solemn expression as he warned Emo Qingyun sternly. All right. Emo Qingyun nodded. He also knew that without the charming young master's protection, his situation was still very dangerous. Unless he used the fusion gate and raised his cultivation to the constellation realm. However, if he did that, his trump card would be exposed. This was not what he wanted to see. So fragrant. Standing beside the charming young master, a faint fragrance gradually drifted into Emo Qingyun's nose. Smelling the fragrance on the charming young master's body, Emo Qingyun opened his eyes wide and could not help but take a few more glances at the charming young master. This charming young master actually had the fragrance of a young girl. This was too unexpected. Don't be distracted. Seeing Emo Qingyun looking at him strangely, the charming young master's face turned slightly red as he reminded Emo Qingyun sternly. Hearing the charming young master's words, Emo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and focused on guarding against the attacks of the 6 demonic beasts. This can't go on. With the charming young master and the charming young master's strength, it might not be possible to kill the 6 demonic beasts. After observing the battle for a while, Emo Qingyun frowned slightly as he realized that the situation was not optimistic. He thought to himself, could it be that I have to expose some trump cards? What should I do now? Emo Qingyun thought for a short while and made a decision. He decided to expose the bloodline of the Heavenly Soul Demon Clan. Bloodline suppression. After Emo Qingyun made his decision, he did not hesitate and immediately used the bloodline superpower. Instantly, a terrifying bloodline power was activated in Emo Qingyun's body. Then, a threatening blood mist burst out from Emo Qingyun's body and enveloped the surrounding area with a diameter of 1 mile. The 6 demonic beasts were enveloped by the blood mist, and their bloodlines were immediately suppressed. The strength that they could unleash was once again reduced sharply. Then, the charming young master and the charming young master's pressure was immediately reduced. P.S. The 5th update is here. Please give me some recommendation tickets and monthly tickets. For those who don't have a bookstore, please do. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.